Man, war is horrific. I'm so glad. My dad used to say it all the time. I'm sure he still does if I prompted him. But
you just said it like he was dead.
I know, right? But like every day we'd be hanging out together. And he'd be like, so what a beautiful day to be alive. So good. So good. There's nobody over there to fight. Like we'd see the news or something. Like we don't have to do battle for this land over here. This is our land. Nobody's coming to fuck with us. Like this is just ours, and we never have to even worry about.
Because someone else is fighting your fight for you right now, and you should appreciate that.
We gave that guy discounts at AutoZone. Enough is enough.
Oh my God. I use that card all the time, that AutoZone discount card.
Your veterans card?
Oh, no, my uncle worked at AutoZone. It's just same discount. And he kept his letter.
Started at the bottom, worked his way all the way to the top.
Dude, they always ask me if I'm a veteran, and I'm like, no.
Oh my God! Just steal a little value.
I'm a pussy.
No, dude, do it. I can't lie.
I'm really the only one that's ever stolen valor.
Yes.
At Subway.
How do you?
What's the deal with Subway?
How did you
free cookies?
But he started slicing the meat, and I freaked out because Blade reminded me of my time in the Middle East. I steal valor for Vietnam.
Tell me you're a tunnel rat.
I was a tunnel rat. They had this weird reverse aging serum. I stole a lot when I was under the ground in the tunnels.
Dude, tunnel rats are so hardcore. I've talked about it before, but that one doc where the guy was a tunnel rat and they're interviewing him in his living room, and it's kind of rundown place and everything, and he's a rundown guy. It's like 20 years after Nam, and he's like, yeah, they'd send me down in the holes with my 45 and my bayonet, and I'd crawl. Most of the time, you'd smell before you seen him. You'd smell him yards away. They had a spicy stink to him from that food they eat.
You could smell it. You could smell them. They smell like, imagine sweat and spices mixed together, a lot of spices, real spicy. They just had an odor to them.
And I'd come up on, he's talking about he had a necklace of ears. He's like, I had a special bayonet that I had customized for chopping heads off. And I had a whole bunch of heads and I had a whole bunch of ears. And she's like, what happened to them? He's like, they took them when I come back through, the customs or whatever, took my ears and your knife, took it too, took my chopper. And then she was like, if you could go back, she's like, do you regret anything you did? He's like, hell, I'd go back now and go back to killing if they'd let me. I loved it. I wish they'd send me back now.
It was almost like being a blind person. And you went by touch and smell and hearing. You think people seen big rats. These were like dogs. I mean, they were big. They used them a lot of time in that first section of the tunnel going in. Because usually an American would back out if he seen 6 or 8 of them. They'd come up to you, and a lot of them would even rub your body, crawl over you. But I had never had none bite me. I'd usually crawl on past them. And of course, they can't order you to be a tunnel rat. You got to volunteer, so sure. I'm ready for it. I just let them pick my weapon. There were very few people that would do it. You could touch things and feel and tell what it was. Sometimes guys touched the wrong things. I'm not going to say I wasn't scared. There was a little place in the back of my head for that, but you had to get rid of that or you got claustrophobic. Fear can be a bad emotion. It can shake you up so bad that you can't function. So that's why I always tried to keep that adrenaline ready. When I knew I was possibly, or 9 chances out of 10, going to get a kill, that adrenaline was flowing so high that nothing else mattered but that kill.
So what would happen if you would encounter an enemy?
Well, it'd be either him or me. If you encountered him first, you shot him, and vice versa. A lot of them would hesitate. I don't know why they'd hesitate. I don't know if it was because of total surprise. I had one get the drop on me, but I shot him and killed him.
I was crawling, really dirty as hell, the ears rotting around my neck, and I'd hear a few feet in the distance some ching chong bing bong horse shit. Nothing upset me more than smelling their disgusting fish sauce entrees as I was crawling towards them.
Are you reading something? If this is off the top, that's real life. That's literally speaking from the heart.
The power of improv.
This dude was having none of it. He was like, we'd find our boys all cut up and tortured, and they'd make them look bad to scare us. And it didn't scare me none. It made me mad. And it was like, oh, this guy's awesome.
Yeah, right.
That's what the aliens aren't ready for when they come here.
I had a manager early in my career. He was a Marine, and he used to tell me, like, the people you want in the Army at peacetime are not the same people you want at wartime. And guy Kyle's talking about is a guy you want at wartime.
Dude, I was listening to this podcast recently, and the guy was in Korean War, so he's old as shit. But he was so braggadocious and lighthearted about it. Like, I don't think he's lying, but at the same time, it's like, dude, really? He's like, I've got the record for most hand-to-hand kills. There was many a time where I could have shot him, but I chose to beat a man to death instead. I just like to rattle their cage, and I was good at that sort of thing. And
He's trying to get play of the game, doing all knives.
Dude,
like
for
that.
real. He said he killed over 10,000 with his artillery strikes alone. He's like, I was calling in the artillery strikes on the Chinese in North Korea, like easily 10,000 kills from that alone. He's like, I killed another 400 with rifle fire and hand-to-hand tactics. I killed at least, and it was like dozens he'd beaten to death. It was crazy, the stories he was telling.
I think visually on sight, like, I think like going up against the Japanese or just like Asians on site at war, like, I feel like that's scarier to me than if I were going up against some white men.
Yeah,
like,
for
if
sure.
I saw white dudes out there, that's different. If
the Russians are a little messy with it, you know what I mean? They've been I see them torturing like Ukrainians.
No, for sure. But
in World War II, though,
yeah, exactly.
It wasn't
That'd
like
be
that.
Scary, bro. Asians running through the smoke like that. They got those silly hats, and they're like kamikaze piloting with the bayonet, like they're coming for you, and they're just about it more than I'm about it. I think
my father-in-law was in the Korean War, and he would talk to me about it sometimes, and I'm like 19, just trying to have him not hate me, agreeing with everything he says. So he wasn't like some super badass who had the record for hand-to-hand combat or anything, but he was a strong guy. He owned a weightlifting gym. He was a fireman. He was like intimidating to sit near. And he's telling me about his time in the Korean War. Anyway, he was upset because the Koreans kept coming to their camp, base, whatever it was, and robbing them. They just steal food, whatever they could get their hands on, and leave. And he's like, they did it to the Turks too, but the Turks, they'd kill them. And they put their head on a pike. They had Korean heads, and they stopped stealing from them. So I wanted to do that here. But the Americans wouldn't put dead bodies on pikes in front around the camp to show what they did to people who stole. And I'm just like, agree, like, yeah, that's you should.
You're like, that'd be sick.
Thing, I guess.
I would do it. I would help you.
Yeah,
I'll pick the head.
You want to get some pikes around here? I don't know. I'm just trying to get you to like me.
I had some pikes ready for this.
Woody, the reason that they do the pike thing on the head is like how many different societies figured that out at different places, thousands of miles apart, where they're like, we really need to inspire fear. Head on a pike. Mm-hmm. Like everywhere independently.
Yeah, it's like, dude,
out.
we were just like, no, we were on our way like conquesting to other lands, and we passed this village, dude. You know what they did? Genius idea. They took the heads and had them all set up. Yeah. We killed them all. We raped them and killed them. But that, like, I could see how that would deter someone who wasn't as crazy as
and
that.
what we did,
there were no survivors because these were scary people.
And they told us that we weren't allowed to do heads on pikes, and so we stole their heads on pikes.
Like, imagine it's not just random heads on pikes; it's your boys, right? Like, oh shit, Woody's up there on a pike, and it's like, Taylor, I don't think we want to.
Dude, I'd be like right next to it.
For my head, they would be
next to it like this. like with the Woody hat.
God damn it! This one keeps tipping over.
Look, candy apple.
They got like a little proto tent holding me up. You know what? Just throw it in the fire. This one's not worth it. It's just they're making a joke out of us. You know? Otherwise, I'll just end up rewatching the original Band of Brothers, which is a great thing to rewatch. It's tremendous.
I love Band of Brothers. I'm sorry, cut you off. I super loved it when it came out, but when I watch it now, I'm like, oh, you know what? It turns out that a lot of this isn't the part that I loved about it. Like, I want to say there are 8 episodes, and the last 2 are kind of not World War II anymore. Yeah. And the first 2 are kind of not World War II. They're like training, and we're getting to know the integrity of Captain Winters and stuff like that. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, when you get back to it, there's really just 2 or 3 great episodes, some of the greatest TV ever made in Band of Brothers, and a whole lot of other stuff.
I'm okay with the beginning. I do agree the end. It really, the end of any story can... At the end of the Lord of the Rings, it was like felt good to wrap up and give everybody their just, wherever they needed. But in this, it's like, come on, let's kill some more Nazis. Yeah. Like just a few more. We can find some that won't surrender. That's what I want. I want them to be like, hey, winners, they say there's some Nazis up north that don't want to surrender. They say Hitler's still alive. Well,
right.
Gotta kill it.
I want to go get those.
The last Nazis. Episode is about like, 100%. I don't know, soldiers getting excited and having car accidents or something.
If Band of Brothers were made today, after its huge success, they'd be like, look, we need a season 2. How about they go to Brazil and look for Hitler? And
that would be awful.
They did a season 2, and it was Japan.
Captain Winters,
like, honestly, with the Band of Brothers thing, I'm surprising you both like have that same take. Like, I disagree with Woody on the beginning part. I really like when they're like kind of
5 miles up, 5 miles down,
or Ross from Friends and Lieutenant Winters. Like, I really liked that development because it showed them like growing as a group. But you are right. Like the end of the series, it's almost like after they're in Hitler's hideout, the Eagle's Nest or whatever it's called. From there on, it's kind of like, okay, we're kind of meandering now. Whereas I think the end of the Pacific one is the one part that's better than the original, because the end of the Pacific one, the guy goes back and it's like really hammers home like how he's a totally different guy. Like he's changed. He's fucked up now. He will never be able to even engage with people who didn't experience that in a way that's real, because they can't possibly empathize with what he's been through. Like, and that was the Pacific series, which overall still solid. I don't like not as good.
I dislike the Pacific. I made it through it once, and every time I've tried afterwards, I always end up going, oh yeah, I don't like this. Oh, yeah, I don't really like this. This isn't fun at all. This is like about the horrors of war. I want to see like come on, give me a little bit of that John Wayne shit. Everybody now wants to be anti-war. Fuck you. No, give me that John Wayne shit. Give me the sad ending if you want. But I want to have some hoorah, blow up the bridge, and fucking, Tom Hanks shooting at the tank, and then the fucking bombers come in. I want some happiness. I want some good times too. They did
make the way scarier than the Nazis, as far as like the implication of like, you don't want to get captured by these Japanese. They'll saw your hands off and fucking inject shit in. Like they.
No, I think that's the case.
The stakes seem high.
I think that if the Germans took you captured, like whenever I'll say this, whenever I see a movie of a German prison camp and there's some Americans in it, they're like sassing the commandant and like wearing a leather jacket or something. Like, and the commandant is like, I will only let you go so far, Makruger. And it's like, dude, the guy's got like doo-wop hair over there and a leather jacket on. How much farther are you going to let it? It always seems like it's not so bad in the Nazi prison camps for the Americans. They're like shot down
for the soldiers.
The soldiers. But on the other hand, like I feel like the Japanese were just real awful pieces of shit. They're just scum.
Yeah.
And I was watching a great thing about the Japanese Zero today, and about how technologically advanced it was for its time. How the kill ratio was 12-1 in the Pacific.
Weren't they mostly just crashing it?
No. That's at the very end of the war. At the end of the war, when they didn't have any other way of It was the last resort sort of thing. The
Those Zeros
Japanese
do look
Zero,
really cool.
the Zero outperformed everything it fought in the Pacific with a kill ratio of 12-1 in the early years.
No.
Yes. The Air Force manual said to go to high altitude, to do a passing run on them, and then to go as fast and low as you could to escape, or you will die. Because they could not fight them at all. They would lose every dogfight at a ratio of 12-1. Yes. It was
I had no idea we were getting wrecked.
It was so much better than anything the world had ever seen. The reports that came out of China, because the war for the Japanese began there, were that they were just shitting on them. And everybody in the West thought it was just exaggerations. They're like, yeah, the Chinese have biplanes. Of course they're getting shit on. But no, when they started fighting, they were getting destroyed. It was only after they captured a Zero and they were able to understand like how it was made and the things it was sacrificing to do all the things that I'm describing, to be so maneuverable, to have a 500-mile range. I think it was sacrificing a lot. It didn't have any armor. It was like a millimeter thick, the outside skin.
It was just too quick to hit for the guys.
It was too maneuverable, and it weighed like 2,000 pounds less than the American plane that was its counterpart, so it could just outmaneuver them at low speeds. So the doctor
12-1. That's a horrible ratio.
Yeah, that's not good. That's
for the first.
That's a real shit show.
We were losing that bad for years.
Yeah.
Damn. I never
in the air.
Huh. Well, yeah,
in the air and dog
that's
fights.
important on the Pacific.
I suppose so. It was mostly carrier battles, but they were sinking ships too with other kinds of aircraft. No, it was really interesting because I think Howard Hughes, the piece of shit that he was like, clearly it's a stolen design of the Howard Hughes Speedcraft that I designed, of course. And like finally they captured one, right? Like because the Japanese doctrine was if your plane is going down, it should go down as hard as possible. It should be destroyed. If you can, burn it. The thing that sparked the whole Japanese internment camp movement, the like case they used was where after Pearl Harbor, one of those planes crashed on one of the islands. The way news went in those days, the locals didn't immediately know that there was a World War II had begun about Pearl Harbor. But long story short, some Japanese natives on that island allowed that pilot to escape custody, burn his plane, and shoot a couple of the natives there, injuring them in the whole process. And so they used that Japanese couple as the scapegoat, if you will, for the whole Japanese internment camp thing. But yeah, they finally captured one, and they saw how that one, like a single hit would destroy it. Just a lucky hit would. And they also saw that, I guess it wasn't very maneuverable at high speeds because it didn't have any hydraulics. It was, so sacrificing that.
What did the Americans in their existing planes do? Because they couldn't just be like, all right, shoot more accurately. Like, did they have to immediately go back to the drawing board, design a new plane kind of like the Zero, and then put the Americans in there?
Well, they had to change their tactics right away. Like I said, they could fly at a high. The Japanese Zero could climb to 33,000 feet or so, 34,000, 10,000 meters, and it could do it extremely fast. The American tactic was to stay high and to do one run as you like dove through the Japanese and then flee because their top speed was faster. If they dogfight, they were just going to die. And later they had better planes. They
back in World War II, we were just not the power we are like we were later. Like,
we'll see.
Like we were getting owned by the German tanks in Europe at the same time, right?
So we had to like a potential fight with China, because I agree with what you're saying. Like we went in there and we didn't have the technology advantage. What we had was a manufacturing advantage.
Yeah.
And over time, we even had a technology advantage. I think Kyle was about to explain that as the new planes came in, the Spitfire, etc., we were better than the Zero. And that happened after 1942. Like, I think better Spitfires.
The Zero wasn't getting better every year. What the Zero was holy shit, you are 10 years ahead of your time when it matters. You have peaked on the tech tree in this one little area. Yeah. Right when you needed it, and they just shit on the whole world. But the Americans, they weren't just the Japanese had a system that could produce like 100 good pilots a month or something like that. They only had 550 total Zeros ever, I think, or at their highest number. But because they had that maybe 500-mile range, maybe it was 500 kilometers, really far, they were able to exert their influence on a much larger region with 550 planes than anyone could imagine. So they thought there were thousands of them because it seemed like there were, and they weren't losing a lot of them either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
it's really interesting. I'm impressed by your guys' World War II plane knowledge.
You gave me too much credit. I was reading the Wikipedia as Kyle was saying it. Everything he says is right.
When you said, I think it was after 1942, I was like, what? Like,
yeah. I had known that for seconds before I said it. But Kyle seemed to know it all. Anyway, if we were to get into a fight with China, would it be the same thing? Would we walk in there with better tanks, better carriers, better airplanes, and then they would have this manufacturing capability that allows them to do to us what we did during World War II?
I mean, they would push our, if it was a manufacturing battle, like they'd push our shit in. Like it's not even close at this point. Like, so we'd have to have a really superior design.
I don't think any, I'm sure someone knows, but I don't think that I'm equipped to even begin to understand what that war would look like. I guess we're fighting over Taiwan, right? So
if that's
what it is.
Like their backyard.
Oh yeah, we're fighting right there. When the Japanese are going to be there, New Zealand and Australia, the massive Pacific Fleet. Look, I'm always the guy like going "Oorah, American power," because God, we just outspend the rest of y'all 10-1 or some shit.
Yeah.
I just think
as long as that dollar is the trading currency of the world.
Look, I just think the U.S. is going to win every time because they outspend so much. I just think that when it comes down to it, like our shit'll just be a little better, and there will be more of it. And I don't know that the war is going to devolve to that 1950s thing where it's literally factories pumping out. We need more planes. If we need more planes, that suggests that we're losing planes. That we're losing them at a huge rate. That means we're losing pilots too, right? Like I don't know if
let's
either
say
country
both sides.
I don't think either country is set up to train new air forces full of pilots and get their 5th or 6th generation planes pumped out in a timely fashion. Planes don't work like that anymore.
Well, let me ask you, if there was a country between the US and China that could do that, would it be the US or would it be the country with all the manufacturing and with 5 times our population?
What kind of manufacturing are we talking about, Taylor? Are we talking about building shitty steel? Are we talking about building Chinese cars? Are we talking about building the cutting edge technology that you need to fly under advanced radar systems and deliver laser guided, radar guided bombs precisely and pinpointly to dissolve a country's entire infrastructure?
And to add on to what Kyle's saying, like, also, this is an environment where we're trying to invent new shit, not just copy what America did 5 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, the idea that the U.S. even has the option to like vaporize China's manufacturing districts, like they would do the same thing the Germans did and change and just constantly be switching fucking machineries and shit in all these normal ass manufacturing plants. Like they can't outproduce us in a way that we can't anymore. The U.S.
What are they
needs
producing,
a bunch
though? It goes back to what my question.
Military equipment.
What kind?
Tanks, planes. Any of that shit they can do faster than us. It may not be as good. I'm just saying they absolutely can. And the U.S. depends on China's exports a hell of a lot more than China depends on the U.S.'s imports, which means that the U.S. has a vested interest in not destroying the entire manufacturing economy of China.
Well, I think both sides have economic worries if they go to war with one another. I think it'd be a massive global event, far beyond like the military, sure, like might of it all. But I don't know what that war even looks like. I don't think anyone. I think we all. You see what's happening in Ukraine, right? Like nobody knew what that war would look like. It turns out it looks like 21st century World War I all over again. They're in fucking trenches in the snow out there.
I thought Ukraine was going to lose maybe this day. Like they lost the Kiev airport for a few hours, right? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I thought it was over with that.
You know what? I bet that's a whole fucking movie. I bet the siege and then retaking of that airport is a whole fucking Die Hard-esque movie. Because what it sounds like happened is the Russians landed fucking paratroopers in their capital, captured their airport with what I can only imagine were the baddest James Bond
skeleton crew,
Sylvester Stallone cocksuckers Russia can muster with their night vision on and their fucking hex grid armors or whatever. Like landed at the airport, took that shit, and there were some Ukrainians somewhere that got a phone call and they said, "Hey, the fucking Spetsnaz just took our airport. The country could fall within hours. They're here for the president." And they said, "All right, we're on the fucking way." I want to know that guy's story. Like he hopped in the truck with his gun
say it with an accent,
killed those people.
Yeah. Team 6. Like that would be cool.
The seals come out of the back. There's like Russian seal them 6.
They're much here in the water.
maybe like
giving them sardines. Hard as fuck. They got those metal teeth like dude had
like Jaws in
K9,
007.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm or no, I think most people agree with this. I put a lot more, I guess, respect on China than Russia as far as like capacity and shit. Like I feel like Russia isn't at all equivalent to China. Maybe I'm like being silly.
I think Russia's been a third-rate power for a long time. I think that's being exposed right now.
China's real deal. Have you seen the fucking shit they have their kids doing in school? They're all fit. They're bouncing basketballs and sink.
Taylor, no.
Michael Jackson dance.
Michael Jackson dance. They're thrilling all over the Chinese yards.
It's a problem.
I see that as propaganda. I bet if you showed a bunch of Chinese podcasters who were like normally censored and had never seen it before, I bet that if you showed them the fucking crowd at UGA when they start throwing up the letters to spell words out and told them that this was our students and that this was what they're spelling was death to China, and like they'd be fucking scared if they saw 85,000 people fucking spelling shit. Little do they know they're spelling "go dogs," and they couldn't give a fuck less. Oh, we eat dogs.
Oh, we hate dogs. Yeah. We come to America, we gonna eat all your dogs. We conquer you and then we make you watch when we eat your dog.
The whole football team's scared. Like, it's about us.
If the ATF was a country.
When we do get conquered, I was joking about that, guys, fellas, when we get conquered.
Are you worried about upsetting our 5 Chinese viewers who are using a VPN?
Oh, this is the final straw.
I'll start reading that what was that massacre they had the
Tiananmen
Square.
Yeah, I'll start reading the Tiananmen Square wiki. Get y'all all fucking locked out.
I would never do that just to a poor Chinese viewer because they'll get you. Or I guess not from reading it, but they can't look it up.
I haven't seen the video, but somebody was saying that in Rust, they were dealing with Chinese hackers and they're outside their base like screaming in Chinese, and they just started reading that whole Wikipedia article. I guess removed. Yeah, that's like bad mojo over there. You know, you can't be talking about all that. That shit didn't even happen as far as they're concerned. That's like Voldemort's name and the N-word mixed together. I learned all that there was.
There was to know.
Yes,
now,
there's almost 4 days of history there.
What I did was I went through all the resources available to me without going to like a library or something.
Yeah, without a book.
Well, it's like as I go further, it's like, yeah, I know this. I know about that ritual. I know that they would tie those loops through the skin in their chest and then tie it to the pole and do their dance for days on end. I know that tribe had their spear had a crook in the end, like a shepherd's crook. And they would stab it into the ground, and they tie a piece of leather from that to their leg to make sure they didn't take one step back. You know, because I went through it all.
I wanted you to learn all the details of the different human sacrifice rituals, so you could teach me about all the ways they varied. How did the Incas do it? How did the Mayans do it? Did the Aztecs revolutionize it?
So they believed. So the Aztecs believed that the more the person suffered and screamed, the more powerful the blood magic would be, so that they could build a closer bond to the gods or entities they were trying to appease or connect with. So it was very important that this person die afraid and terrified.
Thank God the Spanish showed up.
So they would hold you down. 4 people would hold you down, sort of almost bent over backwards over this like bowed stone structure so that you're really exposed. He would plunge the knife in. And the goal was to tear your heart out rapidly, like as fast as possible. So you're alive when it happens. They want to show you your heart if possible. Like and you can imagine you do this 1,000 times. Maybe you get good at it. Like you're like that Japanese guy slicing up those tuna. You're just in and out. Heart.
Yeah. You're like Jiro dreams of sushi, but with torture.
Yeah. With ripping hearts out.
Yeah. Probably a good thing we put a stop to that.
I don't know.
Spanish, at least.
You think it was working, the human sacrifice?
Well, they lost badly when like a group much smaller than them showed up.
I'm
That's
told
part
that
of it.
Earth's temperature has started rising ever since the human sacrifices stopped.
So Cortez only had a few hundred men with him, and there's that famous quote of him, like, "Never in history have such men as us come so few and conquered so many." But they'd also went around and they'd gotten all the tribes that the main Aztec aristocrats or whatever had been bullying forever, and were like, "Hey, you tired of them raiding your village and sacrificing your people, selling?" Because that's what they do. They weren't necessarily killing like your neighbor and sacrificing him. You'd go get those jungle people. Like it's a lot like Mel Gibson's Apocalypto, if you've seen that, which is fantastic.
Yeah. A lot of the South Americans and Central Americans were very stoked when they got that offer from the Spanish, at least from what I learned, where they're like, "Oh, these gun people are going to save us from those, step pyramid building sacrificers. This is kind of nice."
Yeah, they just wanted gold, though. They just wanted gold. The Spanish had this idea that that El Dorado existed. And part of it was because early explorers, English explorers who had gone into the Amazon, either came back and lied or saw something we still haven't found. That's the only two ways.
They were fibbing, looking for more funding.
That's where I want to be too. But here's the facts. The guy who came back and told the lies was like, "Please send me back. Send me and my son back." And they gave their lives looking for what he had found before, leading these expeditions down the Amazon, looking for these golden cities and these huge civilizations that were supposedly there. Some people say that disease was introduced and those cities just went away. All the people died. They ended up melting back into the jungle when the leadership and the whole, Tower of Cards came tumbling down.
Ruins.
Well, we haven't plowed what they've done is that they can't. The Amazon rainforest is still there, so they've used that. It's not LiDAR. They've used ground penetrating aerial radar of some kind, some sort of sensor, and they found large compounds and large where cities once were, but not where cities were a couple hundred years ago, where maybe they were hundreds and hundreds of years ago. But then it is the Amazon rainforest, so I don't know. I mostly watch the news and things about like old timey fighting. Like I've been really into Texas Rangers versus Comanches and Redcoats versus Zulu. Like that's been my thing this week. I'm a big fan of the old movie Zulu. If you've never seen it, it tells the true story of Rourke's Drift. Maybe it was a mission in Africa that there's maybe a couple hundred Redcoats defending. An engineering officer was leading them, and maybe another officer. But they were surrounded and attacked by thousands of Zulu. And for days, thousands of Zulu. And they had those, I think they're Martini Henry rifles. It's like a 45-70 big fucking chunk of a bullet. And the rifle's already crazy long. But then they got that bayonet on the other end. So they've got a spear and a breech loading rifle. Breech loading. So you pull the thing in the bottom and the breech opens at the top. You slide one shell in, close the thing in the bottom. There's not a bolt. But there's a little bit like breech from the bottom. It comes from the bottom.
Double barrel shotgun, but one.
No, it doesn't. The gun doesn't break in half. You operate a lever underneath the trigger guard, and the breech opens, and you're able to slide a bullet into the chamber. And then when you close it, it locks.
Can you say the name slowly so Zach finds a picture?
A breech load. Oh, a Martini Henry rifle.
Thank you.
That would do it. I think it's 45-70 or something like that. It is a chunk of a bullet. And the Zulus they can see them 1,000 yards away or something like that, really far. And they come in waves, just waves of spears and shields. They have these big shields that are oval shaped that cover their whole bodies. And they've got a short spear that's like 3 feet long or something like that. And that's it. And for days they fought. Every man has been shot. Like the medic has been sewing people up for days. The movie's good, but the true story is even better. Yeah, though that's what they look like. That's how these guys were dressed, fighting in the African heat.
Oh,
what a terrible idea.
I'd
be the only one in shorts.
That's cut them all. Florida man.
There's a great scene in the movie where they get into volley fire. So they have a front line of men on their taking one knee, right? Like imagine 10 guys. That's it. Okay, so you got the front line, like taking one knee, and you got the line behind them, and there's a third line that you can't see that's over to the left, and these guys in the middle, they pop up and down as they're commanded to fire. So it's like volley fire in the first rank, and just 30 black guys die. And then like they start loading. Second rank, stand, fire, 30 more. And they just keep repeating this. And you see these bodies heaping and piling up.
Is this Shaka Zulu we're talking about, the movie?
No, that's
no. Okay,
this is just Zulu.
Sorry, I thought maybe you left it out and it was the same.
Nah, yeah. Shaka Zulu was the main name. Like leader who was bringing all the tribes together. It's really cool that movie, and the history of it is too, because I don't know, they talk about the PTSD that some of the guys had from it and all this other shit, but I don't remember how many they killed. It was
Which
some
side
huge
had
number.
the PTSD?
Oh, the Brits won. I'm sure both sides, but who cares about Zulu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have guessed the Brits won that with the guns. Like
wildly out.
No. The week before, a force like 10 times larger had been massacred by the Zulu. You got to keep in mind the Zulu are 10,000 strong or something, and the Brits have 200 men, roughly. There was a much larger force that had been destroyed.
Yeah, like even though you have the guns and the range weapons, that's scary.
Yeah, they're coming.
People.
Yeah, a lot of numbers.
They're in a mission that they've got like sandbags and like barrels and stuff. Like it's not a fortified position exactly. It's not a fort. It's a mission that that's been converted just because they're coming.
I saw a pretty cool video that explained the British warfare, like Revolutionary War times. And in U.S. schools, we were taught that the redcoats were just morons with brave but stupid fighting tactics, et cetera, et cetera. And they're like, actually, it's not quite as dumb as it sounds. Like I was taught that there was no upside, that it would just fire into the crowd. You'll guarantee to hit. It's easy as that. And he's like, when you do have a pack like that, communication is greatly increased. They had a top-down fighting organizational structure. So the officers were able to tell their people what to do. Also, people didn't retreat and quit within the same way. When you're there with your pack, what, you want to run off and be the solo dude? That's suicide. Instead, these guys would fight practically to the last man because they were there in their group. And then, of course, there's like efficient blasts of volleys that the commander can direct into the right place and be effective with. And I mean, I'm not going to pretend it was better than the guerrilla warfare that we used to win.
It was the fact that we used both and they only used one. It's not as if we weren't lining up with them and having those big field battles. It was that in combination with that, there would be snipers in trees shooting that guy who was giving the orders, causing confusion in the ranks.
I feel like there would elementary school Woody was taught that the redcoats were just dumb, and didn't think of hiding behind a tree but no, okay, I get it. There were no radios, there were no command structures, and people were apt to flee. And we probably lost a lot of battles, but it led to a war that we won.
And I think the death toll from that is so minuscule, it's shocking. Like I think 9/11 was worse than the Revolutionary War.
There's no way.
Yeah. Can we fact check that, Zach?
3,000. I think 3,000 people died on 9/11, right?
It sounds
roughly.
Right.
I'm gonna call it 3,300 on 9/11. I'm gonna include all the planes and the Pentagon, which didn't happen.
Yeah, you got to include that.
Those were missiles.
Pentagon thing didn't happen, and they
I'm guessing
Building 7.
There's just no way. There were.
Well, Zach's gonna Google it up.
I know that the Revolutionary War wasn't like fucking Civil War levels by a long shot, or World War I or some shit, but it's got to be a lot of 9/11.
How many U.S. casualties in the Revolutionary War? That's the number we're looking for.
Okay. Yeah, because the British weren't real people.
25 to 70. They were not keeping good track.
But 68. It says 6,800 killed in battle on the American side. 17,000 from disease.
I'm not counting the disease.
No, you can't.
If you count disease, then we're going to 9/11 all those cancer victims in. All right, John Stewart's not preaching for nothing, folks.
No,
all right, fine.
9/11 times 1,000.
Grandfather in the cancer 9/11, and what does that get you to?
9/11 times 27.
The thing about the disease, Kyle, is a lot of those were from gunshots. Right? Yeah. You get a wound and you die later.
That's not true.
No. I just said it. What would I?
You
shot me with the flu bullet. No. It's going to fester into a nasty cough.
It gets septic, which I think is a thing doctors say.
That ain't what they're talking about. They're talking about the flu and colds and the plague and whatever the fuck. Dysentery. Some of the old-timey diseases. Whooping cough. Kennel cough.
Kennel cough.
Kennel cough.
Yeah.
Some of them had worms.
Oh,
Right.
I guarantee they all had worms.
A lot of worms.
Like I bet they were
Okay,
all like
Revolutionary War is low.
I
No.
heard that they took their ivermectin and you're full of crap.
You know what's impressing me
You
here
know, the
is I didn't
CDC
know
had to delete
the
those
war
tweets
of-
about ivermectin.
Yeah.
I just saw the FDA guy talk about it and say that ivermectin has no. He said that ivermectin looked promising for a short period of time, but it has no effective outcome for COVID.
Mhm.
Testified in Congress, and this is recent, like within the last 3 weeks.
Mhm.
So I don't know what
Yeah,
the
that's
deleted
what they
tweets were about.
That's not what they were saying. Yeah, I remember when they took the middle of the road stance across the nation. Oh, yeah, ivermectin probably won't show any long-term advantages. That's not what they said. They said, this is horse medicine, you dumb right-wing idiots. This is
Then-
horse worm medicine. Quick, get the TikTok bandwagon together to
That's
mock
what
anyone who wants
CNN
to take
said.
medicine.
That is literally what they did. You're right.
Yeah.
That is
CNN said,
literally
but I thought we were talking about the FDA, and they
Oh,
said,
it was everybody was together on it. They had to delete their fucking tweets because they were so so ridiculous about
'Cause they fibbed.
ivermectin. Look, don't eat it. Don't eat it. I get that. Anybody who's out there eating horseworm medicine, like just straight out the tube.
I bought some
like,
ivermectin last month.
Oh, man.
I have
Just
That's
worms
for your
worms in
horse, though.
Here's for my
Kyle, you're
fish.
coughing a lot, man. I don't know. You might need some more.
Yeah, you need
I
just you take a little bit.
I take it anally. A little bit goes a long way that way.
my.
I bet it does. That's probably where a lot of the worms are.
Where
That's
you get
where
some
mine
chest
are.
prowess.
That's definitely where mine are.
Yeah, that's definitely where my worms are hanging out in my ass. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I had a guy trying to convince me the other day that from Christopher Columbus's diaries, he was having sex with manatees.
So
there's no fucking way.
I bet what he's
How do
referring
you go
to.
about that?
So I bet what he's referring to, and it's just a wild guess. Columbus did write of seeing mermaids, that they were not as attractive as he'd been led to believe. And I'm guessing maybe somewhere he wrote he banged a mermaid. And so
I could not find a reference to actually having sex with a mermaid or a manatee.
Zach, can you look into this?
But I think that's what he was citing, and he did so while we were driving to the Arctic Circle, and none of us had cell reception to police this theory.
That's cheating.
It just goes off.
Columbus is a hero, and that's the end of the story.
We need to do this whole show somehow to people who don't have internet connections.
Is that true? Is that true? We'll never know. It's like it's 1998 again, and nobody has the internet. In their pocket.
he 100% did not.
There's no way he fucked a manatee. I don't even like how.
So I found the reference of him saying that they were not nearly as attractive as he'd been led to believe.
That's
and they
what
had
it was.
very masculine faces, but I never saw further experimentation.
Can I see a manatee face, Zach?
Oh,
I
They're
feel
not
like I
gonna-
always see him from behind.
They're not lookers, but they're apparently very sweet animals, very nice and
Yeah.
friendly.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, but I would definitely push back on that theory, Ed.
As I did.
What's it? Lower me down, boys. Like,
Oh, that one's sad. It needs
like-
a little Columbus in its life.
This is that one that was like halfway into like bumping its whole head against that glass and like accordioning, if you know that classic clip.
what a cool
Yes.
animal.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
that is a cool animal,
Yeah.
but there's no way you could mistake that for any sort of
Santa Maria.
humanoid creature if you got within.
Maybe if it had some
Yeah.
kelp on it and the waters were dark and you were in a rocking ship and it would. Oh, I see. I don't know how either. It's disgusting and
Zach?
not human. Like,
Yeah, there's nothing.
Zach found the quote, and I'm dying to read it. Columbus also violated a manatee, thinking it was a mermaid, and wrote the experience was less than satisfying, as the creature was quite manly. He also thought the world was a woman and the Garden of Eden was her nipple.
This is just Columbus hate. I don't believe any of this shit. He was like discovering America, and then he like was like, "Hold on, gentlemen, I need to answer a personal query." Throw down the anchor.
no. He's like, oh really? You double dog? like none of this happened. Like that
This
guy
is the journal that was discovered by the campaign to establish Indigenous Persons Day or something.
Yeah,
Right.
they-
that guy was
they're
a
just lying on
millionaire.
him.
That guy was a millionaire with a fleet of ships on the cutting edge of technology. I can't believe that he's. I mean, he had all the native women to rape he could ever want, and he's gonna get a manatee.
Yeah, no, not a
Variety
chance.
is the spice of life.
Man,
In this household, Christopher Columbus is a fucking hero. That's the end of it.
That he is a hero. He was. I don't really know what else he was up to, and I don't care.
Well, he discovered the new world. There was a bit of slave tradery that were going on. He did have that one quote about that AJ.
That was the 1400s. Like anyone who wasn't trading slaves was getting made fun of.
Was square.
It's true.
Yeah, they were bullying on it. Like, you don't even have a slave.
Oh, you're a Frenchman?
The French were still
Next you'll be buggering manatees.
I think that was one of those times where the French had a good reputation for being tough. Actually, when was the last time the French were super tough? Napoleon?
World War One? You need to see Quiet on the Western Front. When the French show up, at the end, when the French show up, I've never been more afraid. If I didn't hate the German characters so much, I was cheering when the French showed up. It was like when Gandalf showed up with the Rohirrim, and he's like, "The bearded king stands alone, not today." That's what he should have said. It was huge. They showed up with tanks and flamethrowers, and all those starving Germans got burnt alive and massacred. That was beautiful. I end up siding with the wrong team a lot of times in movies, but I don't think that was one of them, because Germans were the bad guys. And when I saw those French with the flamethrowers, I feel like that's the last time they were doing some cool shit.
Actually,
the French Revolution.
You just shined a light for me on some of my ignorance. Why were the Germans the bad guys in World War One?
Because
World War II, I've heard a lot about, but well, okay. What did they do wrong for World War One? Was it
invading France?
Okay.
They had those neat helmets that they shouldn't have got rid of, though, with the spikes on top. That's one of our biggest problems militaristically, is we don't see neat we don't see neat ideas in outfits and uniforms.
Just
and
make all our tanks 8 inches taller to accommodate spikes.
Yeah, make them taller, make spikes.
Make it pointy.
Make it pointy.
Have you seen the Dictator with Sacha Baron Cohen? He plays like an Iranian dictator or something.
Right.
They've made his nuclear ICBM. They've done it. The scientist is so fucking proud. He's in there. He's looking at it. He's like, "This is a 12 megaton warhead. We can strike straight to the heart of the great infidel. Washington, D.C., New York City." He's like, yes. Could you make it pointy on top? Because it's very round and blunt. He's like, "Oh, no. You see, this is a re-entry vehicle. This will be going into outer space, sir. It can't be pointy." I understand now. You've shown me I'm wrong. And then he like whispers to a guy, and they grab the scientist and like beat the shit out of him, drag him away. The next time you see the missile, it's pointy as fuck. Elon did that. Elon said that on the heavy lift vehicle or whatever, he was doing an interview, and he's like, "Why is it? I noticed before it wasn't pointy on top." And he's like, "Yeah, it didn't look right. I told him, make it pointy on top." Then, wait, you made it pointy on top just for aesthetics? Purely aesthetics. It in no way aids the aerodynamics when you're going that fast. It's purely, and you could even argue it's not as good.
You could even argue it's not.
It's what he said. Yeah.
You know,
Kyle, you'll surely know this. The stealth fighters and the color, you could probably tell the story. The stealth fighters were originally kind of pastel.
Yeah, they were white.
They found that was the best way to hide visually the plane against blue skies, black skies, sunsets, you name it. And then the Air Force saw it, and they're like, "Yeah, make it black. Men don't fly pastel planes."
Right.
Yeah, make it cool.
It's got to be scary.
Neat. Shouldn't look like we got it from Forever 21. I was gonna say talking about cool looking military stuff. One thing that we absolutely dominated as Americans, painting like shark faces on planes.
Absolutely.
No, but I don't think anybody else was doing that at all until maybe they ripped us off. But we were the ones who were like painting scary shark faces, tornadoes.
I even like the sexy girls on the front.
I think that's
on the
neat
bombers.
Too.
That's a bomber thing. Usually
just in second to the sharks and the animals though, because think about like the dog fights and everything. You see,
I'm not going to kink shame you, but I think I like the girls more than the animals.
You know that whistle on the bombs. That's just to freak people out.
What?
And it's not the sound that a bomb makes, because if you ever watch like us drop bombs, they don't make a fucking noise. They put a whistle on that bitch.
just to like distract people leading up to the bomb.
It's just to scare the shit out of you when the bomb's coming.
That's a pretty okay. That's
Well, that
a good
would
idea.
work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought it was.
I was already scared.
Dave's falling in the
This
air.
just
Whistle.
seems mean.
Yeah, it's put a whistle on that bitch. It's like that thing you put on your hood to scare deer that doesn't work.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Or taping a harmonica under your buddy's car so he doesn't know where it's coming from.
I've never heard that.
That's pretty. That's a good prank.
Does it work on wives? Because that's funny.
Oh, it works extra good on wives.
You've done that to someone, Ed?
I had somebody try to do it to me, but it fell right off because it was leaking enough oil that nothing was going to stick to the underside of that vehicle. But, yeah, I have seen it work. Yes.
I'm trying to find this fucking photo I saw earlier. Oh, fucking Christ, where is it? It was. You know what the braking wheel is?
Yeah.
I think so.
So it's a torture device that would obviously they put you on this wheel and they turn you around and break you. And I'm trying to find this photo of this skeleton from hundreds and hundreds of years ago, obviously, that was executed in that manner. And it shows his skeleton on display, and you can see all of the bone breaks as he was on it. Let me fucking find. God damn it!
I think I got you.
Oh, that sounds awful.
And yes, there it is. Look at that. Isn't that fucked up? You can see the clean breaks in both his arms, both his legs, and not just the legs.
Look at the ribs. Look how many pieces those ribs are in. I
didn't even notice that until you said it. And then the spine in that area surrounding where the ribs come out is just pulverized.
Wrecked, yeah. Is his skull cracked? Right by the temple?
Maybe. I don't know. I thought the breaking wheel was more of a limb thing. But
they really put this guy through the ringer. Jesus Christ.
You literally did. Like you can see the clean breaks in his forearms, his upper arm, his lower leg, his upper leg. Like this looks just, I was going to say just shoot him. Well, yeah, just shoot him with an arrow right through the eye socket. Unless this guy was like a pedophile, in which case this probably did a good bit to discourage pedophilia. Like wouldn't like
the message.
If there was some
work.
Well, it works.
Do they stretch him?
I'm not looking this up. I'm going to say this from memory. The execution wheel was typically a large wooden spoked wheel, the same used on a wooden transport cart and carriages. To this end, the executioner dropped.
The wheel was made to revolve slowly, and a large hammer or an iron bar was then applied to the limb or over the gaps between the beams. So they just hammered them as they spun them around, right?
Oh, this looks awful.
The wheel revolves slowly, and then a large hammer or iron bar was applied to the limb. I don't know how you apply a hammer to a limb, but
very carefully, I'm sure.
This is like Game of Thrones flayed man banner shit. We have to click it, I guess, and then scroll down, and you'll see St. Catherine's College in Oxford has 4 breaking wheels on their emblem. On their on your banners.
On your banners. Interesting. And who is this?
St. Catherine's College in Oxford.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it is fucked up. Well, I guess we use crosses a lot.
I guess.
But that's also a little different. Yeah.
It's kind of low tech. I guess I thought it'd be more inventive, the breaking wheel. But they just strapped a guy to a wheel and hit him as he turned around. You didn't really need a wheel for that. You could have just walked around him while you hit him.
Here is the plan. We put him on the wheel. We turn it, and we hit him with pipe.
Right?
The wheel itself doesn't break him. No, it is the pipe mostly. It is more of a carnival ride without the pipe addition. I lobbied to have it called General Pipe Attack Torture. That was shut down by a eccentric king.
Here's a picture of how it works. In case you had any struggle.
It's just a guy. Well, you attach him to the wheel, and this guy just wails on you. And you want to make sure this is like seeing a live UFC fight. Nobody in the audience knows what's going on because they're elevated. Not very good showmanship. And then that guy with the cross is like, "Yeah, there's no salvation for you.
right? Like
this man's pipe.
So nowadays, the church is supposed to be kind of a benevolent organization, right? They're supposed to be the good guys. Did they even pretend to be the good guys back in the day when they were doing this? Did the church try to have the moral high ground, or were they just another army? Another force?
But, I mean, of course they did. Yeah, they wanted to have the moral high ground. But they were also just so powerful. And I think a lot of their power stemmed not from, well, they did have armies and stuff, but like a lot of it was because the common person all believed them. And so to have the Pope say something negative about the King of France or whatever would effectively cause a lot of religious, serfs or whatever the fuck in France to be like, whoa. We're religious before we're anything. And the Pope said that? Really? And so like the Pope could cause a lot of mischief, a lot of problems. And so that's why so many of those issues between, Britain and France was about currying the favor of whoever the Pope was or whoever the leading bishop of a region, because they, their word held so much, nobody could fucking read. They could be like, oh, this book also says in Revelation that Pope Charles the whatever is evil. And they'd be like, no shit. Wow. Like I haven't eaten anything but potatoes in my entire life. I believe you. I'm on an all radish diet out of necessity. God, my breath is bad. I'm just drinking weak Britain wine, or no, what was it? It was beer that they drank all day, every day, right? Very low percentage beer, because that was the only way to make sure that you weren't drinking poison. Nonsense. Yeah, just a bunch of parasites and diseases.
Yeah, that's what that's the whole point of grog too.
Yeah, well, yeah, grog. That all that grog was adding rum into drinking water, right?
Yeah, but a tiny amount of rum.
That sounds disgusting.
It absolutely does. Like every time you drink, it tastes of rum.
Can you imagine
rum to begin with?
Just a hot day on the decks, swabbing the poop deck, executing pirates, normal everyday things, and like then you have to go take a big swig of rum laden water that's hot. It is hot. That sounds awful.
I'll tell you what I really don't like is the upside down American flag thing. I don't like them doing anything to I don't like when people wear the American flag. I don't like when you turn it upside down. I don't like when you put that fascist blue stripe through the middle. Leave it alone. Is it Susan B. Anthony? She got it right the first fucking time. All right, I mean, we add more stars as time goes on, obviously, but that's just that's like in the UFC when you get another fucking ruby on your belt every time you defend your title. Mm-hmm. I like this. I think
what's the Betsy Ross flag look like? Is that the with just 13 stars?
I don't know.
Have you guys Betsy Ross? Like, what did Susan B. Anthony do?
I don't know, but I think she made the one that another history lady.
The Republicans adopted the Betsy Ross flag for some period of time, and
there's the one that's like the American flag, but where the stars are, there's like a big white swastika. That's a pretty fire one, That's some new lore.
that was huge for one decade, a century ago.
Yeah, they say America.
It's like Susan B. Anthony. Yeah, it's just Betsy Ross. Susan B. Anthony was just like. She was a suffragette. She was.
Ooh, I do not like her.
Yeah, taking that. By the way, if you look at a picture of her, you'll see fucking wine. My God.
Okay, well, I'm team fucking. What was her name? Betsy Ross.
Betsy Ross. Yeah.
Is
she the one that made the flag? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what she did after making that beautiful flag?
She shut the fuck up like a good wife.
It to herself. Do you like my flag I made, sweetheart? It's fine. Dinner's not ready yet. And then this bitch shows up a century and a half later and goes,
that's Susan B. Anthony.
Susan, that's a girl.
We put that lady on a coin.
No,
she has
I would never
a good jawline.
That is a masculine woman, dude. Like if you look at her from like get rid of the eyes and put a man's haircut on her, and like that's just a dude.
Yeah,
she's been mewing a lot. Jesus Christ.
Dude,
her haircut
Zach,
now.
Slow down. I can only get so erect.
She kind of got that hair of the berries and cream.
She's big into jazzercise. Oh my God. Look at that fucking jaw.
Wow.
Look at that. Built like a linebacker, this bitch.
Dude, if she'd be UFC champion if she existed today.
Yeah.
I want
to vote. Where? No, get over it.
Zach, see if this lady, if might have been a man. If there's any theories about that, or if it did, like, she ever bear children? You know, was she married to a gentleman, like, or was she like single her whole life or something?
Way she was married. Let's see. Wait, why the fuck is this?
It looks
National
like a man.
Women's History Museum.
I saw that this conservative lady, I suppose,
Lots of
made
inventions in there.
It's the same style of invention list as the George Washington Carver one we looked at last week. Oh, we found last week, Tom. We found like a straight up George Washington Carver conspiracy website. Like there's like the Tuskegee Project. It had like a .edu, and it was like the inventions of George Washington Carver. There was shit like soap,
vinegar. Like he invented.
Is this the peanut butter guy?
That's the thing. That's what you thought, isn't it? That's what they told us. That's what they lied to us about. I don't know what George Washington Carver invented. I genuinely don't anymore. They gave him credit for the salted peanut, dude. Okay, fuck you. Fuck you. What if I put pepper on him? Do I get my name on a goddamn website with an edu tag? Get the fuck out of here. He did not invent. The one thing he didn't come up with: peanut butter. Butter. He never figured that one out. He was using like peanut husks to make insulation and shit, calling himself Edison.
He made the first car powered by peanuts.
Like the stuff. I just pulled the website up again. Thank God the link was still purple. Yeah, they said he invented buttermilk, mock meat, peanut sprouts,
mock meat,
mayonnaise,
not mock meat in 1800, whatever.
Dry coffee. He invented dry coffee. For centuries, people in other countries had been making coffee and they never thought to dry it.
They just boiled huge batches of it and carried the vases of liquid coffee around for years.
One of the things on this list is breakfast food number 5. We all know breakfast food number 5. We all know and love.
My world.
So much better than 4.
But I'm more of a breakfast food number 3 guy, which is also on the list.
Is this on the iHeart menu? Like, what the fuck is this?
This is on Tuskegee.edu. George.
What is breakfast food number 5? Like,
that's on his. Here's.
I choose to believe it's like Rocky, where number 2 was the best.
Here's the link. It says in the list foods he invented: instant coffee.
Could you pull it up for us, Zach, please?
Caramel. He invented caramel. This guy was
he
busy.
didn't.
He did not. He did not invent cheese pimento, substitute asparagus.
You like pimento cheese? I love it.
I'm good on pimento cheese. Yeah, or that makes it sound like I don't like it. I'm fine with it. It's not like
if you ever go to the grocery store. So what you want is there's this brand at the grocery store that has jalapenos in it, and it on the like pimento cheese package, the little plastic jar or whatever. There's a picture of an old timey black lady on it, like an Aunt Jemima type, and it's not like a cartoon of her. It's like a bad quality Polaroid of just a black woman's face, and that shit is delicious.
What the fuck is cheese nut sage? What is cheese nut sage?
Dude, there's one schizophrenic guy who maintains and updates this website, guaranteed. Like one lover of George Washington Carver who can't accept, hey, I bet he was a real nice guy.
He invented breakfast foods 1 through 5.
That's true. Don't forget peanut cake 1 and 2.
It says here under general, he invented sizing for walls. What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah. Do you ever notice how every ancient building, all the walls are out of fucking whack?
He invented milk.
They're all different sizes. He invented 32 kinds of milk. Woody, don't cut him short.
My bad.
He made oil for hair and scalp.
Yeah.
What the fuck does this mean? Italians definitely made that.
Yeah, the Italians created it. The Italians are like a farm of scalp oil.
Of oil for the scalp.
He created laxatives. That's a proud one they're putting here under medicine. That's fine.
Bar candy. No one else put
substitute asparagus for when you can't get the good stuff.
Sweeping compound.
Peanut relish. Why would you be proud of
he's looking for a way to make cum taste better?
Peanut beverage beverage for ice cream.
Asparagus needs work.
Plum punch, tannic acid. Man, medicine similar to castor oil. Couldn't quite beat the castor oil guy.
He created chocolate coated peanuts. He was the first guy ever to put chocolate on a peanut.
Vanishing cream. And I bet the guy who put this here imagined it to be true vanishing cream. Man, here I was thinking that like the ancient Egyptians and Romans used soap. And
that's ridiculous. They were black too, is the thing you don't know.
That's what they try and keep you down. That's what Big White tries to take credit for.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, we spent a while on this guy last week, but it still fascinates me to no end that there is someone out there with an edu domain just making the kind of list that I would if I had a George Washington Carver edu domain. Just making things up.
That's the list you would make if George Washington Carver was your uncle and you wanted to like big him up on the internet and not let everybody find out that he didn't invent peanut butter. Like we all believe. That's a good trivia question. That should be that. Like if you had like who invented peanut butter, you put his name in the list, but you also throw in who did invent peanut butter, whoever actually did it.
It's almost you can't even take credit for inventing something that simple. Can you?
This is a college website. This is
this is not like you said edu domain, and I looked into it. They like their endowment is 157 million.
This is for the same college that Lionel Richie graduated from.
Lionel Richie, noted George Washington Carver historian. What the fuck? This is a ridiculous university. There's no way anyone is learning useful things from this university.
It's a 142-year-old university.
We're learning a lot about peanuts.
Was it founded by George Washington Carver? Is that part of it?
I don't know.
Athletics. Hold on. Where's
D3?
Why choose TU? Here at TU, we love breakfast food number 2. And chili sauce and peanut hearts.
John Harvey Kellogg invented peanut butter of Kellogg's cereal. He patented the process for creating peanut butter from raw peanuts. There's a different guy who came up with something called peanut paste, but that's just like pressing peanuts between 2 hot plates. And he was also a black man. 1884, he did that.
It's apparently a pretty good school.
Canadian.
There's no way this is a good school. Do they have pages for like other inventors with just made up nonsense?
I hate that he gets credit for peanut butter and he didn't do it.
Why is that? Why is this page here? Oh, is there a whole George Washington Carver section?
I wonder if there's a museum for him you could visit.
I'm on their rankings on their site. It says they're number 1 in best colleges, historically black colleges and universities, according to the U.S. News and World Report. So I think this is a predominantly white school, from what I can tell.
Yeah, seems that way. A lot of peanut scientists going here.
They're apparently number 31 on the best value schools, regional universities, South by U.S. News and World Report.
I hate it when they divide it into like 16 categories.
Yeah. The 7th best predominantly black school that George Washington Carver graduated from
They're the 15th
in Atlanta.
best college in Alabama, according to College Consensus. So they're up there.
Yeah, I call into question some of the facts on this page. But regardless,
I'm okay with tearing this guy down. I just don't want you to go back to you already tore down Helen Keller. Who was the other person you were trying to steal valor from the other day? Not steal valor, but just take it away.
Einstein?
No, why would you?
Einstein wasn't a real person.
I was trying to think of the other conspiracies I did back in the day.
I think it was also it was Coco the gorilla.
Oh, we've been through this up and down 6 Question Sunday. That gorilla was not talking. That gorilla learned input orders the same way you can teach a dog that kind of shit. Like it didn't learn to communicate. It learned that if it does these signs,
have you seen dogs hit those
plum
buttons?
Shows up in my palm.
Have you seen those dogs hit those buttons and communicate stuff?
Yeah, but they're not communicating. They're learning. They don't understand the grammar and syntax of what they're expressing. They understand that this and this and this means that a treat comes to me. These sounds just came out of my owner's mouth, which means that this one, this one, this one, and this one is what I need to do in order to achieve the treat. They're not like, oh, wait, he just posed a conditional hypothetical at me. I need to hit this one.
I think they know what I think those border collies have 100-word plus IQs. I mean, I'm not IQs, but vocabularies. They know what those words mean. Like they can. They describe.
I think they can remember what the sound is in like tandem with another thing happening.
Yeah,
but I don't think they actually.
But isn't that what vocabulary is? No. Really?
They don't understand the meaning of it. They understand what they're supposed to do when that sound comes out.
That's people too, though. Like blue is blue. I don't need to know anything about the color spectrum.
But if you use a series of words in a sentence to inquire about something to do with my life, I understand and can take many avenues to respond to that because I internalize and understand the root of the question and what you're asking. If you do that at a dog, I
feel like I've seen them do complex things, like not regularly, but I don't know. I watched some Animal Planet thing about the world's smartest dog. He knows 400 words, and they like go talk to this border collie that's in there fucking typing out sentences on the floor.
The one guy who's on screen is like, yeah, I'm the I'm the dog vocabulary expert. Oh, what do I do? What do I not do?
I'm a producer.
I'm a producer. I produce lies and nonsense to sell to the Animal Planet station.
I also have this part of me that just wants to believe that animals are that we're all just kind of the same. Like we're all sentient to some level, and we're just more sentient than they are, and we're able to put sentences together. Like, I think that whales should have some sort of personhood, and dolphins, I feel like they should be protected.
I'm fine with that.
Like, I don't think of them like I get we're all animals, but when you say animal, you mean a different thing. You know, I feel like they've almost transcended the animal thing and getting close to the people thing to some extent.
I think you're right. Whales are fine. We can kind of play dolphins by ear. Let's start with whales.
I saw a dolphin try to rape a lady yesterday. Do you see that video on Reddit? It's like no, she's like the ladies. They're like scuba diving, and the dolphin's trying to get its nose in her snoot.
That sounds like a guy I know. He should have rights.
And its dick's out the whole time. Its dick's out the whole time. He's after her, like trying to get that bottle nose up her snoot.
Well, you can't bug around the ocean too much. That's their domain, man. They can just drown you if they feel like it. They can just grab you with their prehensile penis and pull you to the depths.
I don't think they grab you with it.
They can,
Spear
though.
you in the
It's
ass.
prehensile.
I don't
can
think
break
they
its
wrap
grip.
it. I don't think they can coil it around your limb like
Okay,
a squid,
it's
though.
either prehensile or it has an actual bone in it. But it's one of those is correct. We've gone through. I seen it.
Remember when Hank Hill got humped?
Taylor,
by the
there's not
dolphin?
really a bone in it. It just feels
That's
that way.
true. Hank Hill had that harrowing experience at La Grunta, the La Grunta vacation spot.
I think the dolphin got like red cheeks, like its cheeks were flush, like they were using that to signify a hard on.
Yeah,
because they didn't want
his
to
belly
dolphin
was
dick.
getting red when he was getting
Oh,
pet.
that's what it was. Well, in the video I saw, his belly got more than red. His dick came out, and it was he had a fucking baby's arm down there flopping around underwater.
I bet they're big animals, right? How much does the dolphin weigh?
I would guess big dolphin, 500, 600, 700 pounds. 500 pounds? 500 pounds would be my guess.
Okay.
Big dolphin.
That would be similar to what I'd guess too. They're only next to other dolphins, and so unless you have like a good foreknowledge of dolphin weight,
But you
can't
can't
really
see
get
him
it.
very well, and water compresses
Oh
your
my
view. It's
god!
tricky.
An adult dolphin can weigh that can't be accurate.
That's
Really?
not true, Zach. You've fallen for a big dolphin. In
No way
literal-
dolphins can wear
Zach
6,000
said
pounds.
between 2,000 and 6,000 pounds, roughly.
How
Really?
Dolphins are so much bigger than I thought.
I'm not confirming it. I'm telling people.
Ah,
what he
6,000
wrote.
pounds is just insanity mode.
All right, that's Zach. I think
I don't believe that.
the Maui dolphin's only 110 pounds, and then I
Bottlenose
guess
dolphin.
the orca
Bottlenose
counts
dolphin.
as a.
Oh, don't count the orca.
I'm
it-
reading an
Killer
article.
Whale.
I'm
I want to
learning.
know.
No,
Well,
I see what happened. The top link has it in like the Google preview, but you can't tell it's talking about an orca.
Bottlenose dolphin. That's what we want. We want Flipper. Remember Flipper? You ever see that show?
I have the
okay.
answer. 3:30 to cut off my screen. Sorry.
Wait, this is an AI overview. Aren't these notoriously wrong?
330 to 1,400 pounds, according to Wikipedia.
For a bottlenose dolphin.
Common
Bottlenose dolphins
dolphin.
can range in size from 6 to
That's a
13
very
feet
wide
long
range.
and weigh 300 to 1,400 pounds.
That's way bigger than I thought they were. That thing could kill you easily.
Wait,
Just bang you
300
down.
pounds to 1,400 pounds in that
Yes.
range?
That's a huge range.
Huge range.
Yeah, there's like a lot of shapes and sizes of these things. They are human in that way. Jesus.
Maybe
Yeah.
1,400-pound dolphins have a weight problem, right? In the same way that humans get, like human males weigh between 150 and 700 pounds.
So
That's
just
true.
The 700-pounders are not
the
normal
boogie
human men.
dolphin, the
The
winged
boogie
dolphin.
Man, that's crazy that we're the only animal that just dominates nature so hard that we have problems with being overweight. Like there's no troop of chimps out there who's just killing it so hard in their their locale and wherever in Africa they are, their little tribe area, and they're just all fat. None of them. We're the only ones who just kick ass.
I'm trying to come up with an animal that proves Taylor wrong. Like bear?
Even bears, they get fat off of our labor. Unless they're finding all those honey buns and all that shit in the trash, all those calorie dense sugary things. Like
I was
maybe
going to
they're-
say they
yeah.
get fat in preparation for hibernation. Like,
Sure.
it's the way that they rock.
Okay, that's all right. Other than bears, there isn't a single animal I can think of that has weight problems.
Dogs, but that ties back to
and
your
that's-
earlier.
yeah,
That's just us
Dogs
again.
that we
That's-
feed, yeah.
That's us. Wild
Every
dogs.
dog I've ever had.
Wild dogs are skinny. They all look like they are a dinner miss away from death,
Mm-hmm.
and they probably
There also aren't any other animals that have figured out how to do fentanyl, as far as I know. So I think we're pretty addicted to making our lives a lot worse.
we actively
Thematically.
make our lives harder for ourselves.
I keep saying it, but like every week he says something more hard. He's like, "Hey, made it in some troops to Ukraine. I don't know." And it's just,
I don't
like,
know. If I was
down.
France, the last couple have gone pretty for France. If I was France, I'd be like, hey, we got to do
They
something.
did okay in one.
Really.
They're eager to make up for their record in 2 because like World War II was like that was a 4-0 sweep in a 7-game.
They got posterized. They got posterized.
Posterized.
They're that
Yeah.
guy with Jordan's junk in their ear.
Yeah, they are.
But it's Hitler's junk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be worried if I was
we were
them,
Larry
if-
Bird coming in.
Yeah. If I was
Hitler.
Poland or France, I'd be like, this is coming. Like you
I
don't
went
want
to
that again.
I went to Wikipedia to like look at France's military history. And I tried to scroll to the bottom like a UFC fighter, look for the grid, like the win loss. It's not there. It's all in paragraph form.
Wait, you're telling me war's more complex?
Yeah, I just wanted
Damn.
W's and L's, maybe judge scores.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure that exists somewhere.
Oh yeah,
I would imagine they
we've
got a
talked
very
about
high
this.
win.
France would have a very high win rate. They were
Yeah.
fucking warmongers back in the day.
They have a wildly
Yeah.
impressive military history. It's just
Yeah.
like
Well,
when you lose in the finals, most recently.
Hang on
that's
a
what-
minute.
that's what
Hang on a
happens.
minute.
There's a wicked
That's
story.
like saying the Bulls have like a great championship like pedigree, but we're just talking about the Jordan era. It's almost not fair to say that France is great because they had Napoleon, like the greatest military leader of all time, like just ran.
He still lost.
Europe.
Like for hundreds,
He
like
still
hundreds of
lost.
years.
Eventually, he
Hundreds
lost
of years
twice.
before
but
Napoleon,
eventually,
they had leaders in winning
yeah.
wars.
But see, he's like the GSP of fucking war of emperors, right?
but he
he
also-
lost once or twice, but he was
But his losses were massive though. Like he trying to invade Russia and like losing half of the fucking army in the winter. That's a big
More than
fucking
half.
loss, man.
Do you know how big that
Like,
army was? That was like an
Yeah.
800,000 man army. They got whittled down to 50,000.
That's a lot of fucking loss.
Dude, Russia's not a place you want to go in winter. Seems
Yeah.
like war goes badly when you're like, hey, let's go into this
Yeah.
tundra wasteland that's freezing
Yeah.
and fight in like fucking January.
Have you ever heard the story of Napoleon apparently had a cavalry assault on ships? So like there was like a frozen like lake or something, and a navy was stuck inside the frozen lake, and it's the only recorded time in history where they cavalry charged ships. It's like,
Can you imagine being the sailor who was like waking up to empty his piss bucket and a fucking mounted Frenchman comes charging by and hits you with a fucking lance?
It was the Dutch, and the Dutch have used their influence to bury that because you can't come back from losing a naval battle to guys on horseback.
No, you
That's
can't.
embarrassing.
What were they riding seahorses? Like you got conquered by fucking Aquaman. You fucking stupid Dutch cunts.
Well, let's see what happened here. The capture of the Dutch fleet at Dan Helden on the night of January 23rd, 1795 presents a rare occurrence of an interaction between warships and cavalry in which a French Revolutionary Hussar regiment came close to a Dutch fleet frozen at anchor at Nieuwediep or some shit, just east of the town of Dan Helder. After some of the Hussars had approached across the frozen Nieuwediep, the French cavalry negotiated that all 14 Dutch warships would remain at anchor. The capture of ship by horsemen is an extremely rare feat in military history. no shit.
It feels like a one-off, like we call it extremely rare, but I feel like that's got to be a one-off.
And you can't even go down like master and commander style gloriously.
Yeah.
Just, you're looking down at the people you're surrendering to as they neigh. That would be so embarrassing.
Yeah.
Well, good for the French.
Yeah, I got all sorts of scary stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about smoke grenades. I get spear guns.
I think
that would be cool. Getting into spear guns.
Oh, wait.
Spear guns.
Have you, Kyle? Have you bought your sword yet?
No, I have been looking at swords.
Gosh, Kyle's gonna be a sword guy now.
I'm a
You're
sword guy.
Sword
now.
guy.
First of all, it's swordsman. Let's get it straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna become like
you'll make your way there. You're a student of the blade first and foremost.
Okay.
Are you gonna become like a reformed virgin? Like just stop having sex and wear
Yeah.
See, that's the reaction that I'm not looking for. That is what has stayed
would you like
my
fear?
hand.
Is that
buy
what
it on Amazon. People bought this also enjoy fedoras.
No, it'd be like Japanese kimonos and butt plugs or something that bought katanas.
So what
I
kind
don't-
of
he's
sword are
gonna-
you trying to get? What kind of sword are we going for?
So that's the thing. I don't want any weeaboo shit. I don't have any Japanese heritage, any Asian heritage, not even on that side of the planet. There's no sense in me getting.
So you should get a spear from your homeland of Africa.
All right. Well, I mean, I could do that, I suppose, but that's only 0.06% of my heritage. I think I'd probably go with. I've looked at the Viking straight swords. I've looked at some Celtic swords. I've looked at some Confederate cavalry swords. It's sort of
pretty
curved,
good.
and it's got the handguard.
Like a
And
saber,
I've looked
right?
at
Schools
the
of gladius.
Roman, and I've looked at the Roman gladiuses,
Yeah.
which are also pretty cool. Those often come with a very ornate sheath.
I'd go
at these-
Warhammer. Warhammer, I reckon.
You look like a Warhammer guy, actually.
I feel like that,
if you were to
right.
go into combat, I could see you wielding a hammer.
Yeah,
I feel like
you're
I
a
want
natural
hammer.
Warhammer.
Yeah, I
wielder.
love Warhammer. Yeah. No,
Would
we
be-
or maybe an axe in each hand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, like
Like a
a
medium-sized one, like a short
I
axe.
wonder what I'd be. I feel like I'm an archer.
Archer?
I feel
You
like
are
you're
an archer.
too
You've got
muscular
the
for an
big-
archer.
No, he's got that broad upper body. He's going to be pulling them back and letting them go. Rob?
Those longbows are fucking
You know what
hard
movie
to pull
that's
back.
from?
No,
Oh shit!
I don't know. A longbow that would be neat.
Yeah.
Disney's
I
They're hard
actually-
I've heard they're hard to use though. Like very, very, very hard to pull back. Like you need to practice a lot to get it pulled back.
need to
To,
get
So
fit
those
for
guys,
it.
You're
so
strong. You
it's,
just
they're,
pump
they're like
through it.
100-pound draw, and obviously there's no in a compound bow. There's a lot of let off, so you're only pulling the weight rating for a brief period, and then the pulleys turn over, and now you're holding back far less. And the better the bow, the less you're holding back percentage wise. You might be holding 70%, 80%, 90%, like weight less and less and less. You'll actually be holding back of the pull weight. But I always shot when I was a kid, I shot 60 pounds. And when I was a man grown, I shot 70. And my dad always shot 70. And that's often what compound bows top out at. And it ain't that hard to pull back if you're like an active, regular sized man. Like if you're a 5'9" average guy who works out maybe once a week, you could absolutely pull back a 70-pound draw. You know, you're pushing with one hand and pulling with the other.
Yeah.
So 100 isn't that much harder.
Looks like 105 pounds is for a standard
Yeah.
6'6" English self-U longbow.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I guess you had to be
I
pretty
feel like
strong.
as a longbow with no counterlever system, that would be hard.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
It's-
that would be difficult.
So they're not holding it back though. They're pulling them back and letting them go. Literally, they're
Right.
almost in one shot. They're never holding and aiming like it's a rifle. Every motion is one sort of pull it back and let it go. I don't know if they actually did that sort of draw loose. I don't know if they ever did that.
I wonder
where
if they
everybody
aimed
holds
it
them back
at a
and-
target.
No,
Like,
I
do
don't.
they practice in one motion?
Yeah, no. Apparently, the way to shoot most accurately is once it hits a certain point, then you fire. Because the Olympic ones have like a little clicker, and it's like on top of the arrow. And when it goes past when the arrow pulls out, it clicks down, and the clicking sound is that's when you fire. Apparently, like when you get to the perfect tension. That's like that's what I've seen for like the accuracy wise.
That would make it would be hard to just hold 110-pound draw weight accurately, like because you imagine you're fighting in a battle, you're shooting a lot more than one arrow.
So
yeah,
the only like I've watched a bunch of stuff about the Battle of Agincourt, where there was a lot of English archers, and they kind of made the difference. It was when the French knights charged down the muddy field and get bogged down, and the English archers just went at them and rained down. I don't know that they aimed right at targets. I don't think you want your archers so close to a target that they can aim straight at them. I think it's always that big arcing, sort of aim it up so you can hit the guys 175 yards away.
That was that was what made them so strong, wasn't it? That they had like such long range.
They definitely have more range than the crossbows. We've talked before about like longbows and crossbows and how the crossbow was considered this like sort of low class is the wrong word. Less honorable
Low skill.
weapon.
Yeah.
Less
But I think that
honorable
the-
weapon.
Like
Yeah, less
crossbows had like high velocity and were able to pierce like plate armor though. Was the point of them, I think.
Any idiot can
And
operate
you
a
can just
crossbow. Was the
hand it
main
to
point.
someone.
You had
and
to
be like,
train
"Point
the archers a lot, but you could just hand that crossbow to somebody and do their thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm sold that Woody would be a longbow guy.
No,
I'm
Oh, yeah?
100% sold that Slush is either a double-sided broad axe guy
I'll go with that.
or a
Double axes, the little ones.
warhammer guy.
That could go.
I was
yeah.
thinking either that or like Gimli's axe in Lord of the Rings, where
the,
it's got
the little
Yeah.
ones or the big boy.
the big boy.
Okay,
And so
I
I
like
like
the
the
little
big boy.
ones.
I see Slush as like a
Also,
big
that's
boy or a
versatile
hammer
as well.
wielder.
If you get a good enough one of that, and you don't mind.
Oh,
sort of
I got it.
putting work-
Shillelagh.
Chop
No,
wood.
get yourself a
Shillelagh.
good fucking.
No, that's so
Zach,
lame.
can you pull up the picture of the shillelagh from Gangs of New York?
Oh
That
yeah.
guy- Do you remember
Shillelagh,
that?
is that a musical instrument? What is that?
Close.
what
It's an
Irish people
Irish
use.
musical instrument. It's a percussion.
to beat people after
Wait,
winning.
are you pulling my leg?
Well, I'm sort of making a joke without pulling your leg. I'm saying it's a percussion
okay.
instrument because they whack people in the head.
Okay.
It's a cudgel or
It's,
an impact
What's
weapon.
it
It's a
called?
big
Kinetic
fucking
force.
heavy stick.
Kinetic energy transfer device.
Yeah, in
That's-
Gangs of
yeah.
New York, you might remember the scene where at the beginning they're going to have the big fight. All the gang's going to fight, and Leonardo DiCaprio's father, Liam Neeson's character, goes and he tries to recruit the big Irish brute guy, and he's like offering to pay him so many copper coins per scratch on his shillelagh, and he pulls it out, and it's he's got like you can't really see it because of the quality, but he's got tons of etching marks for every man he's killed on this thing.
Oh
Yeah,
boy!
it's good to see.
Yeah.
Wow, that
There you go.
It's
The
pretty much.
shillelagh.
It's pretty much a golf club.
yeah.
It is.
Solid on the end.
Fuck somebody
Yeah.
up.
See, I don't
But
think the golf club. I think
Golf
I
club
think the
is
golf
a
club's
shit weapon.
it's a shit weapon. You're absolutely right. That
Should be
shaft
one
is so
swing.
fragile.
Oh man, I've
get one swing.
shattered drivers just
one
like
swing.
hitting the ball hard enough. Like
Even a fiberglass or like I guess it's graphite. I had a graphite driver.
graphite.
Like
Yeah.
we just went and bought some like random shit to drive balls with.
Yeah.
And those things are tough. Like now that I think about it. But the thing is,
You wouldn't
They-
attack someone with a driver anyway. You'd use an iron.
but those
They're
have
not
those
very
usually the
strong.
metal are there. I'm sure there's graphite.
there is graphite irons, but I think they're just as
I have
easy to
metal
break.
irons. My dad gave me old pings from like
Yeah.
the
I
90s or
think
something that are made
really
of metal.
old people use graphite irons because they're more flexible, so they
Okay.
can get more speed.
I had a
So,
whole bunch I had a whole set of Callaways, and I'm gonna tell you, like you break that thing right over somebody, and then they beat you up for trying. That's the fear. Here's the thing:
unless
if you're gonna
you got
if
it
you're
in the
bringing a
head
weapon-
with the actual iron bit.
if
like-
you're gonna
Yeah,
bring a
that's
weapon
what I-
into the combat arena, just know that human nature is that they have seen this as an escalation and permission for them to also escalate. So you better
Yeah.
get the shit done. If
Yeah.
you show up with your 9-iron, take a swing. He takes a step forward and the thing hits his shoulder and breaks on his shoulder. Best believe he might take that shaft and stab your ass with it instead of just beating you up like what would have normally happened. Like I ain't swinging a golf club at somebody. If I'm in that scene from Pulp Fiction where Bruce Willis is looking up at the pawn shop wall at the weaponry to take down to the fuck dungeon, that golf club is on the bottom of my list. I'd much rather have a hammer. Give me a hammer.
What
just
does
a
he-
regular
what does he
claw
take?
hammer. He takes a katana.
Katana would be above. Like I think that like I had someone say this to me once. He was like one of my dad's mates who rolled with some fucking angry motherfuckers, and he said you only carry the weapon that you're willing to do the time for. And he said a hammer's really good because you don't have to kill someone with that. A sword, you hit someone in the leg, very highly likely that if you hit them hard enough in the leg and they're going to bleed out. But
Yeah.
you hit someone in the leg with a hammer, then they're not gonna die. That's simply mean a lot
and you're
of
going to
pain.
get your money.
But if you go for the head with a hammer, you can still kill them. You can still kill them with a hammer if you really want to. So
I don't see Slush as a shillelagh guy. I see him as a war axe guy or a war hammer guy.
I'll go hammer.
Woody, I'm growing on Woody as a longbow guy.
Zach,
I
would you
like
show us
that.
an image of Gul Maraz? Gul Maraz.
Kyle, I don't know where I'm trying to peg you. Maybe just a swordsman.
Dude,
Officer.
What I would honestly want is like if I actually had if you're gonna make me go fight in a gladiatorial arena, I would want a sword like a short sword that's one handed, and I would want a shield. Like I would want a teardrop shield. That start.
I believe they were called Murmillo, right?
Thank you.
A
Murmillo.
Oh, the teardrop
things that are wild.
So
stuff.
Because I want to be able to lower it. Because if he swipes at my legs, I want to be able to lower it all the way to the ground, like stab it into the ground to like check a leg kick. Basically, that's Gol Mirage. That is the Warhammer. Basically, that is what the Warhammer is named after. This item. The whole.
I would go that. I would run that.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. It's also imbued with the soul of some sort of ancient, entity, and it's basically sentient.
Yeah, well, obviously, on a hammer you can talk to.
At least that's the way I remember.
When you're tired of killing.
So you would want to be like this guy, Kyle.
You got
this Murmillo picture, which you'd need you need to have a good body to pull this off.
Oh no. So I'm talking about like the shield that at the top, it's shaped like a teardrop, and the top is the fat part, and then at the bottom it becomes a point. Like it's fat at the top and skinny at the bottom. The shield is, and I would want a longer sword than that.
A kite shield.
I'm gonna have to be so close to that guy to make this sword do business. I want like 8 more inches.
Yeah, we all do. We're racing to that one.
Look at that. Tell me this isn't slush.
That's
this is slush.
So what you have there is a what are those fucking called? It's a
angry. It's
called a dwarf.
It's the unit name. This is a specific kind of unit because it's not wearing armor. It's the Slayer. It's a Slayer.
Yeah,
that is a Slayer. Yeah. I was just gonna say I think I'd be good at running the educational system of this country. I feel like I'd be the guy, the one you'd want to call upon to make that happen. Because when I hear food science, I just think that's a wasted elective. Like that.
Really?
Most of them. I feel like most of the electives, the only history they teach in high school. Like in high school, did they teach you anything beyond like the basics of American history and World War II? I feel like everything else I know came from the History Channel.
Dude, it was like American history was literally the complexity that the Simpsons made fun of in that episode when Apu becomes a citizen, and he's like, "What?" The guy's like, "Mr. Whatever, what caused the Civil War?" And he's like, "Oh, that is a very specific question and interesting because it was very multifaceted and different." He's like, "Just say slavery." He's like, "Oh, slavery it is then." And then they go on and he becomes a citizen. That's what my American.
What they taught us the Civil War was about. There was a little time in the 80s when the motivation for the Civil War was taught to be that the South was trading with Europe and the North wanted the South to trade with them kind of exclusively. And that's what the war was about. That's not what the war was about. Like literally states are pulling out of the Union saying we want to own black people. And my school system bent over backwards to like remove that part from the motivation. Silly.
Yeah, like that's what the history was like.
Much that we once knew has been lost.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a little bit of knowledge that we lost there. They erased the truth from Woody schools.
They did. Or maybe they implanted the truth. Ooh, little X-Files.
Maybe there was no Civil War. You ever think of that?
No, never.
Do you know a single Civil War veteran? Do you know anybody who was a slave or owned a slave? I'm not sure any of that happened.
I don't know any slave owners.
Yeah, it's just this story that for some reason, all of a sudden, the northern states have some sort of like something over on the southern ones, and you were bad. Those are the racist states. No, I think it's a big ploy, big democratic ploy.
Yep. Those dastardly Democrats came in there. Well, what did you get taught? Did they just say slavery for you?
Well, Mr. Mackinson,
Georgia.
Mr. Mackinson showed us a video called. The title of the video was "The Civil War Was Not About Slavery." That was the name of the cassette that he put into the VCR and wheeled that little TV out for us. He was also a member of the Sons of the Confederate Veterans, who came and put on a performance for us one afternoon. We all got to go out in the field behind the high school and sit Indian style out there in the grass and watch them put on their Confederate uniforms and march about, wave their flags and such. And
was it realistic? Did they get their asses kicked?
I believe the South won. Didn't the South win more battles?
Yeah, the South won a lot more battles. But
so yeah, it was realistic. They won the battle.
It's so funny how people like every war is.
There
like,
wasn't a battle.
The winner is like, yes, I win in a Titan, and like usually it's pretty close.
But so no, I wouldn't say there was any propaganda hammered home. Like there was just that one day where we watched that cassette, and then that other day where we watched them go up out there and bandy about in their uniforms and such. The only reenactment I've ever seen, which is when you've got the North versus the South, and they're shooting the blanks.
The South did not win more battles. I googled it.
Was it Wings House?
Yeah, of course. The Northern website would say that.
You guys,
Google.
I don't trust this Missouri, Georgia little factoid. I'm going to check this out. I'm fact checking this.
What is that?
When the North is allowed to count the battles, suddenly the numbers are skewed.
I'm like, how did they win more battles and lose? Which can happen. I think that's what I'm told about Vietnam. But
I think that's what we did in the American Revolution. I think didn't Washington lose at least as many as he won? His thing was he was a good retreater.
A lot. But we won the bigger battles, right?
Washington kept retreating battle after battle, but he did a good job of it. He'd save his cannons. He'd keep his men alive, and he'd live to fight another day.
That's the problem. The South was a regular season team. The playoffs came around, and the big battles, when they mattered, the North won.
Gettysburg.
So Gettysburg. That's a big one.
They always ask, what would you do if you had a time machine? Go to Gettysburg.
You'd flip that. You'd bring a machine gun.
I just want to watch. What are you talking about? Crazy? No. I wouldn't want the South to win. That would be terrible. If the South had won the Civil War, it would be awful. The whole like what happens during World War II then? You know what I mean? Unless the South
there'd be two countries then.
Unless unless they do what they did in the CSA, which is a fantabulous little mockumentary that I go on about every time this topic comes up. And they conquer the North. Lincoln flees to Canada in disgrace. He's later captured. So is Harriet Tubman. They were on the flee together. Harriet Tubman's quoted as saying, "Mr. President, we both ninjas now." And then after they're done conquering the North, then they conquer all of Mexico and a little bit more of South America. Like they keep going. And they have a border wall with Canada. So there's a real potential for a Canadian war.
I wasn't liking it, but all of Mexico and a lot of South America.
And the Caribbean.
Weather country.
The Caribbean, all that stuff. Yeah. They just keep going.
That's kind of that's a better country, right?
So that'd be a better future.
We have the whole US
sure.
and
for most of us, not for Black folks though. That would be a problem.
I don't think. I think Black people would not be in favor of that country. Also,
some would.
In real life, I don't know. Does the South take the North or just secede? Like was their plan?
No, they would have just seceded. Yeah.
And there's no way if the South went, like the North rebuilt the South. You guys were broken and worthless, and we built you up again.
Worthless.
So, yeah.
We needed you to keep us alive for the next winter, so we quickly helped you build your buildings that we burned.
Yeah, we were running a scorched earth Civil War campaign.
Please, you weren't worth shit. You hadn't done anything. Your slaves did all your work for you. So the North, also a working
like society.
Hey, that's my story. I'll tell it how I want to. And, so we came down there and rebuilt your ruined society that we wrecked for kicks and shits and giggles. And I doubt the South would have done the same noble act.
Yeah. The South. I don't know. Did the South burn a bunch of northern cities?
Well, they weren't really the pinnacle of morality.
I think you have a skewed view on Reconstructionism.
Don't you tell me, Mr. Dull.
That we did learn about. We learned about those carpetbaggers. I remember that being a fucking vocabulary word. We learned that.
Yeah.
I
remember carpetbaggers.
Those cocksuckers coming down here. No,
we were in the middle though. Missouri we were waiting it out. We were seeing who was going to win.
Both sides.
We played both sides, so we always come out on top. The MAC of states.
I must be mixing up Missouri with another.
But yeah, when I drove to Wing's house, it was like
split Mason-Dixon line.
It was so weird. There was a Civil War battle happening 5 minutes from his house, like in a field. Like they were rolling up on each other, North versus South, shooting black powder and cannons.
Damn. Man, any sort of cannon war. After seeing that Shogun clip and then going on YouTube and watching some of those chain shots, turns out a lot of the examples they have of those like ball and chain, like swinging shots, I guess that was huge in naval battles. because they aimed at masts and you could just rip a mast down. And then once the ship has no mast, it's like, all right, you guys got to either surrender and give us your shit or we're just going to win. Like we're gonna steal up, we're going to kill you.
We'll swing back around in 2 weeks when you're hungry.
Yeah. And so, a naval battle would have been hell, especially with those cannons. You ever seen the end of Master and Commander?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a sick scene. He's walking down those stairs, everything's blowing up.
The sea is no joke. So I've been watching these sailing videos. Have you guys seen these on YouTube? There's like a whole genre that Sailing Vagabond, I can't say it, created. And now just, oh my God, one fucking sexy couple after the next sailing around the Caribbean. And I saw this woman. She wasn't a couple. She was by herself. And seemingly there's no land anywhere. But she must not be too far because she found a coral reef. And she goes out swimming by herself. There's barracuda everywhere. And she's like, feisty barracuda. Shoo. I'm like, dude, that's scary. But what's double scary is like, what if her anchor gives way? She's alone. There isn't another sight in 360 degrees. The horizon is all water. And she's out paddling around the coral reef. Like, just
that sounds
checking out.
So scary. I would want
sounds like her. That sounds like she's a smart video maker and her boyfriend is below deck, waiting to give her some back shots and help her edit.
You'd have to be really smart. There's no boyfriend.
Did you get the footage?
It's like a 27-foot boat. Like, I'd see the other people.
No, you throw me the camera, then I'll throw you the ladder.
There was another one. These people were in 15,000 feet of water and they decided to go swimming. And what they do is they throw a line out with a fender on it, which is like an inflatable bumper to stop you from hitting the dock. It floats. And anyway, so now we've got a line with a fender and they jump out and they hold that so that the boat doesn't get away from them. And it's this guy and the girl. They're like 2 feet away from the boat holding this line. And she goes, let's go out to the fender. And he says, what? No, I don't want to do that at all. And he did, to his credit. But it's just like, I don't know. Standing on the edge of a cliff. Hover
technology, like loiter technology? There should be a computer that tells the boat engine how to loiter. Like sit right here. Like you don't have to sit still. I'm not making a rifle shot, but I'm going down there to get some oysters or whatever the fuck. Don't leave me.
I don't think you even want that, right? Because like what you wanted to do is drift like you do.
And to be fair, if you're going down for something, then clearly there's enough room for an anchor. But in 15,000 feet of water, though, that's I guess it doesn't matter if it's 15,000 or 15, but something about looking down and having no. It matters when you look down.
Yeah, you look down and it's just an abyss of fear.
Yeah, but I drown in either one. You drown in a fucking puddle.
Something feels. It happens to me when I'm flying. I fly routinely. Like my happy place is somewhere around 2,000 to 3,000 feet, and every once in a while I go to 5,000, and it's like, whoa, hold on tight. Is this safe? As if 5,000 is more dangerous than 3. It's the same death, but swimming feels like that too. Like I felt safe in 8 feet of water, but not in 80.
Yeah, and you get accustomed to those heights. Like I've worked on roofs before, and after a while, like 12 or 15 foot roof, even if you go up to the peak or whatever and you're really up there, like maybe 15, all right, I'm not that scared. I wouldn't die. Hell, I'd hit it hard, but I'd get back up. You're not even afraid of it anymore. And then you go like 1 story higher and you're like, oh no, oh, you're like sweaty palms. My feet just got sweaty thinking about it.
I would also suggest some like cult leaders are often kind of treated as like a hee haha, like a goofy, like, isn't this guy quirky? Like, even if there were murders, it's like, wow, these people were so dumb or whatever. But when you read about like some of the ways that cult leaders indoctrinated people around them, it is depressing. Like Ervil LeBaron, he was one of the guys. He's a lot of people misunderstand LeBaron as being like a founder of Mormonism. He was famous because in the early days of Mormonism, he got kicked out and started like a whole cult separate to Mormonism.
Okay.
He was like a big practicer of polygamy and stuff like that. And what he would do is he had a theory that he pulled out of the Old Testament and he called it blood redemption. I think it's blood redemption, blood sacrilege, something like that. And it was the idea that some people were so sinful in their lives, the only way that they could go to heaven is if they're murdered by righteous people and like a prayer said over them or whatever. So what Ervil would do is if there was like, say he had like, 20 wives or whatever, and say one of the daughters of one of those wives disagreed with him or tried to leave, he would go to the mother of that girl and be like, hey, do you want your daughter to go to heaven? You're going to have to kill her. And like he would talk these poor delusional people into murdering family members because he said it's the only way they could get into the gates. And like reading the testimonies of people who were in that group, oh my word, some of the most terrifying stuff ever. That guy was absolutely evil. But yeah, there's a lot of cult leaders like that who are very messed up.
Who are some other interesting, some other cult leaders? I'm woefully misinformed or uninformed, I guess, on so much of the cult shit. I don't know enough about that. Heaven's Gate is about like the extent of what I've looked into, but that's like the Beatles of cults. Like, and so like you can't really say like, oh yeah, I'm into cults, and it's like, name 3 cults. Heaven's Gate.
Name their album. Name 3 of their albums.
Yeah,
Go
name
ahead.
3 of their albums, idiot. Oh man, I've been called out. So I need to find a better one. But like you're 1,000,000% right about the whole cult thing of people being smarmy and smug. Like these idiots, they didn't know. It's like
these
people who are
people.
in like influence circles, cults, like they can't see outside it. By design, all of their interactions and the social cost of disagreement are incorporated into that. If they had a robust system and network of people who weren't involved in that cult, then it would be easier. Like that's why the first step of any cult or like indoctrination is separating you from your family, separating you from your friends, making you believe that nothing can be trusted except for what is said here. And when you're surrounded by a bunch of people who have done the same thing, they've done. Tony, he distanced from his family and his friends, and he hasn't had an issue with it. What's wrong with you? Are you not bought in? Do you not believe what we believe? Like those kind of social
You're not going to let it down, are you? You're not. You're one of us. You're not going to go against it. Yeah, that happens all the time.
You like, pretty much your only friends and family are us now, and you're disappointing us. Like, what's going to happen?
There's this weird misconception, and a lot of it's just because they don't know any better. But there's this misconception a lot of people have that like happy people who were doing well in life join cults, but it's almost never that. It's like I don't know if I've talked about them before. I know it was on a podcast. I don't think it was on PKA. I talked about the Anthill Kids. Did I do this diatribe?
I don't recall the Anthill Kids. No.
Okay.
Tell us about it.
The Anthill Kids were a cult in the 70s. It was either the 60s or 70s. They were led by a guy named Roche Thoreau. Roche, I think it's either Roch or Roche. It's a French name. Roche was a pastor in, I forget what denomination of church. It was some branch of Christianity for
Seventh-day Adventist.
Yes, thank you. Seventh-day Adventist. Before he broke off and then up in French Canada began this farm. And what he would do is he would go to these people in bars. He would pray apparently for women like near like hospitals, like women who had miscarriages. Like he was seeking out people who were in the worst point of their life. And he'd effectively start with the evangelist thing of like, hey, Jesus loves you. Do you want a home? Do you want a community? And he started inviting people to this farm he was effectively building up in the mountains. And he did this for years. So for years, it was just a group of people who had nowhere to go. They were completely lost. And then someone offers them food, shelter, and friendship. And it was years of that before it became what it eventually turned into. And that's how people get indoctrinated to the point that they join and become a part of a cult. It's not just like, and I want to be abused by, some charismatic figure. But like Roche was... It was a very slow decline. The first step of it, I believe, is he started having them do labor. Like, okay, you go work and I'll stay here and run things. And people were like, yeah, that makes sense. And it's like, hey, do you care to help build like the houses around here? And they're like, yeah, that makes sense. And then it started to be like, I think I need to have children with the women here. And the single women were like, absolutely. Yeah, I'm down for it. But then the husbands were like, hey, I could give my wife to this guy. So then he has all these children that are his. And then after, I think the cult, there was a period of time he went to jail and like every day, all of them would come to the jail and talk to him. He went to jail for like several months. I think the cult lasted for about 15 years, and by the end of it, there were so many violence scenarios that happened, but one of the more intense ones was a woman tried to run away after I think he had forced himself on her. I can't remember the scenario, but she tried to run away, and it was in the middle of Canada in the winter, so it was freezing. And these men brought her back, and he, in front of everyone, he dragged her onto, like, he had like a church set up. He dragged her to the altar, pulled a hatchet, and cut her arm off at the front of the room in front of everyone, and no one did anything. They were just like, yeah, she went against us. What else are we going to do? And, you know, she's crying and screaming. And then he just puts down the axe and holds her and starts patting her like, shh, it's okay. And everyone was just like, yeah, this is fine.
This is what happens when you mess with the cult leader.
The thing that eventually did them in was a woman died during, it was something like she got sick or she got cut, and I forget the details, but Roche did something like he ordered someone to put a bag over her mouth or something like that. He ordered them to do something that got her killed. And then there was a period of time where they tried to hide her body, and then her family came looking for her, and eventually everything got found out. Oh, it was the woman who got her arm cut off. She escaped while the police were investigating, and she went to the police, told them what happened, and all of them got arrested. But yeah, these people were conditioned over the period of over a decade to be like, yeah, if, you know, he wants to cut her arm off, like, you know, that's his right. That's what we get. And that's scary to read about, like situations like that where people are absolutely at the will of some madman.
And you have to remember like something else with it is like the longer someone is in a cult or in like one of those circles, the more like sunk cost is involved. Yeah. And so like someone who's in a cult for 2 days is a lot more likely to be talked out of it. If you've been in there for years, like that is your life. Leaving that is not only changing your whole life and uprooting yourself, it's also an admission that you were fooled. And I don't remember who said it, but it's a lot easier to fool people than to convince them they've been fooled. And so like you spend 5 years in a cult, like that's your fucking life. Like you're not going to let anything separate you from that because those are your friends. That's your family.
So what are we defining as cults? Like what how do you know it's a cult? Like someone tells you, hey, Taylor, look, I found myself. There's this group of people. They got a new way of doing things, and I like it. And for the first time in my life, I feel at peace. You know what? I'm leaving my job behind. I'm putting all my money into this. We all did. And look, hey, I am definitely not the richest guy there, buddy. I'm gonna tell you that right now. We're pulling a lot of money together so we can all just live in fucking harmony. And that's all there is to it. I mean, there's a guy in charge, yeah, and he takes a cut. But Father Michael keeps us together. He keeps us guided on the path of that God wanted us to be on, the one he originally wanted us to be on. You know what I mean? No owls. And it's a good place. Like, what do you say to this guy?
I mean, it's hard because like so much of like the cult part is the insistence on removal of yourself socially from your existing connections. So if you were inviting me and you were like, yeah, bring your family, bring your friends, like we meet up every week and we're going to hang out and we do this, I'd be like, okay, this isn't a cult. They're not trying to separate me from my life. If you were like, hey, you know, in addition to this, Taylor, I think you should come stay on this compound with me for a while. No, just you. I don't think your parents and your friends, I don't think they're bought in yet, honestly. Do you think they are? No, I don't think they're like you and I agree. But yeah, come on. Then I'd be like, okay, like this guy's trying to fucking put layers between me and the people I'm familiar with. This is a cult.
I've never seen anything like that, honestly. I'm glad that I was never cool enough, I guess, to be invited to a cult.
I haven't been invited either.
Not even the Klan. Like I remember my dad told me
how many Klansmen are there? Like 13 FBI agents? Who the fuck is in the Klan in 2023?
Unironically. What he did have a cult question that got cut off. Do you remember?
I was asked about how the money worked.
Good. Oh, for the Anthill kids?
Yeah, well, in general, like how do they get people to give up their resources and give them to someone?
So it depends on the cult. Sometimes they'll have a few benefactors. Like sometimes they'll convince a couple rich guys, and that's where most of the money comes from. Sometimes, like I don't think Waco was a cult to the degree people say it was, but it's definitely a cult in some
Branch
regard.
Davidians, eh?
The Branch Davidians, yeah. The way that they did it is Koresh just stayed at the compound, but everyone worked in town, and there was
You know
like
how
a
I know it was a
communal
cult?
fun. How's that?
Because they're called the Branch Davidians. And,
Correct.
As a kid, that rolls off the tongue on the newscast, and you don't ever stop to think about what it means. David Koresh leads the Davidians. You know what I mean? Like it's a cult. The real question about that is, were they sexually abusing children and fostering an environment in which that was to be normal and commonplace? Or did the FBI lie about that after they burnt all those children alive?
So from all the research, all the stories I've read on the topic, I do think the FBI fostered the story. There were several CPS investigations before all of that went down. They were never able to turn up any evidence, and everyone who was a part of it vehemently attested that didn't happen. That was
I say it's 50-50. I'm 50-50 on it. Here's why. I just think it just seems like historically, and from every example we ever have, whenever you have some dude who's running a cult, it's all about pussy, and it ends up being about pussy for some reason. We haven't been able to put our finger on that one here yet, despite all our study. Research expert Woody here, he's delved deep and hard, and he hasn't come up with
as deep as I can. I don't mean to brag.
Yeah, it hurts after a while. So, but I don't know what they were. I don't know if that was the case or not, but I'd say 50-50 it was, right? It just seems like it almost always that's what's going on. Even with like the good religions, the ones that we pretend aren't cults, it's like that's what's going on there too.
I'm going to balance that out. I'm going to say 0% chance they were doing that, and it was the FBI lying. So now the average is back. No, I have done no research. I have no idea.
Okay, so let me tell you about this. So here's what I saw on the news, and I don't know if this was the FBI being like, "Oh, look at what we found." It was like a kid's sort of informational pamphlet that you would hand to, like, I don't know, a kid to prepare them for their sexual life that's coming right around the corner.
Like your body's changing. Like that.
No, more like David's gonna fuck you.
You may notice hair. You may notice hair where there wasn't hair before. You may notice a man named David walking into your room erect at night and demanding things of you. This is all part of becoming a woman.
Yeah, so I saw those pamphlets on the news, and the only question is, like, if you could find out those were fake, I feel like that's the little piece of evidence that matters to me.
So I looked into the pamphlets, and from every article I read, that was not evidence that was brought forward by any State Department. That was entirely mentioned by news sources and never backed by anything.
Yikes.
All the cult members said that it's kind of like, you remember how after, like, well, I was too young to remember, but looking back, after 9/11, they were like, oh, and we found the hijacker's passport in the wreckage. Yeah. Like that whole, like, no, you didn't. What are you talking about? Like, it was kind of like that. The news is like, hey, I know what we can do to be sensational for the next half hour.
Sure.
So from everything I read, that's
where'd that pamphlet come from? Like, where'd it come from? Someone made that shit. Someone printed it off of a printer. Someone stapled it together. Someone drew those little stick figure children. You know what I mean? Someone wrote it. Yeah. And the only answer that comes to mind is that's the sort of thing that our government does sometimes when they're taking somebody down, like a political figure or something like that. They make those sorts of false evidences famously. Like if you look at the sort of things they were doing to Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, or even we talked about, it's people we don't like as well. It's not like they're just picking on civil rights leaders. Also, like Fidel Castro, just all those Wile E. Coyote stunts they tried to pull, making his beard fall out, making him be on LSD during his speeches, all that craziness. The Pitbull thing reminded me, one of the games that were proposing in that Roman gladiatorial show was, they were like, we've brought in 20 midgets from Persia, and we're going to set them against an equal number of pit bulldogs. And he was like, the guy was like, interesting. But this is a large affair. This is very important. We need something with more gravitas. And he's like, well, we have some red-assed baboons.
Then we will also make fight midgets. And it's like, this guy's just a one-track mind.
They were gonna women, like human women, with the red-assed baboons. And he was like, I don't think my brother's into that sort of thing. I don't think that's really his style. And then he's like, well, we also have a a ghost lion. And it's like, dude, why don't you open with ghost lion?
Yeah,
You have a giant albino African lion. Like, start with that. You started with
that guy's got 40 Persian midget slaves burning a hole in his pocket, and he's trying to get rid of them.
No
Dude,
one would buy the midgets.
20 Persian midgets versus 20 pit bulldogs. Like, what's that? Like the teaser for the fights? That's going to be over in no time.
I think they arm the midgets a little, maybe armor them, maybe give them sticks or clubs a little. So
that's more fair.
You wouldn't want them barehanded. Like, you'd want them to put up a bit of a fight, but obviously, the pit bulls are going to win unless they really rally. But what if they formed a tiny little phalanx?
Oh, I'd like that. And I hope that's in the show.
Yeah. The show's fun because the one brother's like the warrior brother and the other's like the gay artsy brother. And the warrior brother is like banging the queen of the Jews. Like, he conquered Jerusalem and took their queen as his concubine. But they're like kind of in love. So the gay brother makes a Roman game, like this thing they're going to do. He's like, build the city of Jerusalem, and then we'll burn it down. And then we'll have the women and children Jews flee out of the burning Jerusalem model, and we'll set the lion upon them. And so
the emperor's like, I'm really more into like the sword fighting. Like, if you could keep it to that. You're trying to sell me midgets and Jews fleeing. Give me swords.
It was pretty dark.
Tell me more about these Jews.
Give me more of those guys with the tridents and the Retiarius. Is that what it's called?
They set 3 Retiarius.
Wait, what is this? I can't be the only one who doesn't
You have a trident and a net,
trident,
and you wear a specific helmet, and you also have a short sword. It's a type of gladiator. So what they would do, it wasn't just like,
they had a trident.
So a gladiator means that's your combination of weapons and armor.
Yeah, there were classes of
almost
them.
like a class in a video game. Like all right, you're the Retiarius guy. You're like the fisherman mock-up warrior man. You have a trident, and you have a net, and there's a specific helmet, and you also have a short sword. And so they set 3 of those guys onto one giant champion guy. That was a cool fight. They have this giant for the show. I don't know who he is, but he looks like he's 7 fucking feet tall. He's enormous.
Is he a Retiarius? Or a Murmillo? I remember that one. That's also in Age of Mythology.
He's a Thrax, I think. If I had to, because he has a helmet kind of like that. Oh no, the Samnus. That's exactly what he is. Because he has a sword, he has a shield like that and a big fucking helmet. Although his sword is like this curvy thing, like the 3X in the top row.
Oh, damn.
I feel like
it baffles me that you guys know these words.
We don't. I'm just reading.
Well, you knew Ready.
Yeah, but you don't. You were never reading your book of Gladiators and been like, net guy. That would have been me.
Yeah,
I've
definitely read
kid stuff.
Everybody identified with net guy.
Dude, leave this up, Zach. Look at I feel like most practically the Secutor or the Murmillo are what I'd want to be. But look at the scissor guy at the bottom. That's pretty cool. He's got some sort of hook on a metal arm.
The scissor guy?
He can either like punch that into you or hook it around your weapon and like
his
pull it.
Arm has been replaced with a gauntlet.
Yeah, he's got a giant metal gauntlet with a hook. Like a
I would hate to have to fight in a fucking arena. I want to be the in the viewing audience for that shit. That would be terrible.
I'd be so nervous, I'd be killed.
I think those tiny shields would be a problem. The shield needs to have some mass to deflect a blow. Like
Dude,
the Gallus, that little one in the very center. If you hit me hard with the sword like that, it'd only be a little bit different than hitting me directly on the arm.
Listen, man, these matches can't last forever. I mean, come on. we got the Lions coming next. We got.
I was going to say the Bestiarius looks like the worst, but that's clearly what they're just doing to people when it's like that guy has to fight a lion. You get a big spear and shorts.
If I could fight any of these, it'd be top right because that's a girl.
Yeah. You take on the Gladiatrix.
By the way, I'm under the impression that I
could take that chick.
Now, is Laquarius that type of gladiator or that guy's name?
Very funny, Taylor. Very funny. Laquarius delivered my groceries yesterday. Nice guy. He didn't have the spear or anything though. He was just he
wasn't ready for battle in the arena.
No, he had shorts on and a hat.
Oh damn! No cool mask.
No, those people the most recent thing I'm watching is Rome. I just finished it. It's a real pity that show got canceled because
would you recommend it? I have it on my list.
Yeah, it's good. I definitely recommend it. So it's 2 seasons. You'll tell that things advance. quickly. So we'll talk a lot. We'll have Julius Caesar and Caesar Octavian, and everyone's in a room. We're talking about the war. Oh, big war with Egypt coming up. And then they're like, all right, let's fucking get them. And then the next scene, the ships of Egypt are burning in the ocean. And it's like, war over, bitches. Now it's time to divvy up Egypt. Like stuff like that'll happen. So they'll
sex and violence, right? Lots of it.
So much torture, violence, and nudity. And I wouldn't say the fight scenes are particularly good. They're just okay. But I really like the characters, and it's an accurate telling of like what Roman life was like. Like when you see the interiors of the houses, apparently, the way the streets look, the way especially the way they dress is true to form historically. And while the characters are doing silly things, they're doing the broad points are all historically very much true. Like, yes, Caesar did stay in Gaul until 67. And then he came down into the peninsula and this happened on this year. And yes, Caesar Octavian was the one who was part of the triumvirate with Mark Antony and et cetera, et cetera. Like that's all accurate. But the characters of Pullo and Lucius Varenus are real people with fictional stories that are fun to follow along. Pullo is like the big brute of a guy that you always want there if someone needs a killing. It's there's characters like that in lots of shows. I really like the guy in The Expanse. He's short, but he's real fucking ripped. He's the psychopath on the and if you're in trouble, if there's a scary man around, it's like, oh, don't worry, he's here. Don't worry, we got the scary guy now. He's our
scared of you. This
Dude,
guy's scary.
Pullo is so scary. I'll just spoil a tiny part. You won't know when it's coming probably, but he has an interaction with a guy, and the guy's like, "We don't have to fight here today. No one has to die, Pullo." And Pullo goes, "You're right." And they shake hands, and Pullo headbutts him and then grabs him and pries his mouth apart with both his hands, bites the man's tongue out in front of all of his men, spits it at him, and then charges into them with his sword, and all of his men follow in behind him, while the main guy lays there choking on his blood because he just got his tongue bitten out. It was so awful.
Oh, shit.
I was just like, that's the most hardcore thing I've seen in a minute. That was pretty rough. And then later on, I
forgot about that scene.
Some other characters asking him because they're catching up. Been years since they've seen each other. Hey, what happened? Well, we had a big fight. Yeah, what happened? Well, I pretended like I was going to agree, and then I headbutted him and bit his tongue out. And he goes, "You bit his tongue out?" "Sure did. Tasted like chicken." And they have a big laugh about it. It's great. I love that.
It'd be hard to bite my tongue out. I feel like I'd pull it in.
Well, yeah, I feel he's really getting in there. Like he gets up, one hand on the bottom teeth and one hand on the top teeth and pries the guy. And he also is a bit concussed from the headbutt, so he gets in there. It doesn't seem like the first time
he wouldn't have tried that shit with Taylor. He wouldn't have lost the headbutt battle and then tried to pry his jaw open. Good luck with that.
I'd have gotten fucking 8 fingers as a snack.
Just spitting fingertips at him.
You're fucking with.
Just would have destroyed him. I told you, yeah, my dentist is blown away by the size of my masseter muscles from he said, "You have the largest masseter muscles I've seen on someone." Like, which is the jaw muscles, because I spent my entire childhood and adolescence up until like 27, 28 years old, grinding our teeth so hard in the middle of the night that they just got big.
So I bet there's somewhere with a bite force measurement system. I've seen those. It would be interesting. Yeah,
my teeth are fake though, so I wouldn't want to go all out biting it. I don't want to break my teeth.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, hopefully it's like squishy, like a mouth guard. You would bite hard with a mouth guard, like a hockey mouth guard.
Yeah.
Do you think that would do well at an arcade? Like instead of the punching machine, the biting machine?
If you win, you get 100 tickets at Hep C.
It's like, this game is disgusting. Like,
I don't know what fighting meant for them though. Like I don't think it meant squaring up necessarily as much as it meant chasing people down with an axe.
Yeah,
and just the Vikings would just roll up on your shore, and you didn't know you had trouble with Vikings. You might not even know what a Viking is. You may have never seen a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white dude that's 6'2" But there he is with all of his buddies. They just rolled up and they're here and they don't want to talk. Like they're hacking the door down, screaming in fucking Scandinavian.
I imagine a Roman skilled with a spear beats him. You know, picture
they did.
The poison guy from Game of Thrones.
The
played
Red
Last
Viper of
of Us.
Dorne.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah. All right. His character, I think, could beat Thor. There's some dude like that was just agile.
Interestingly enough, have you seen the whole trend of people being the girls ask their boyfriends, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And
yes,
they're like, I don't know, like a couple times a week, maybe. But what you just mentioned, like the Romans conquered all of the Germanic Celtic people, all of Gaul, which was Eastern Europe. They conquered or Western Europe. They conquered all of that, and those were those people. I don't know how long that campaign went on for, but they were just. It's some of the things the Romans did are so wild. They just went to the other side of the world with tens of thousands of men. They bring like 80,000 soldiers and go conquer a continent, and then build a road back and start taxing and shipping the gold home. And they just kept doing that until they owned so much of the world. It was So I guess I think about the most Empire a couple times a week.
Yeah, at least a couple times a week. It's the coolest empire ever.
I should think about Rome more because I don't know anything.
Yeah, Rome is so cool. 117. That's the peak of their expansion, I believe, right?
Like obviously, I'm the least knowledgeable geography wise, but I know that's fucking England up there in the top left.
Yeah. Looks like they've got Babylon and Britain. That's a big span. And unlike that nonsense where they're like, look at Genghis Khan's empire. It's like, you mean just a trail with burnt villages and no infrastructure and no production and a bunch
this
of
was
like
this was a machine
this was an empire. Like
every one of those provinces is shipping gold by road and ship back to Rome. It's a machine. It was and it's I really like anything about Rome. I wish there was it's a shame that that TV show failed.
They should do more Rome historical shows. Those would slay.
There's a really good one on Netflix. There's a really good like Rome multi-episode, like the history of Rome. It's Spartacus. Very good. Spartacus is good. I mean, it is fairly historical.
Wait. You said Spartacus was good. Did you watch it to the end?
I watched one.
Disregard that.
Look, again, I'm good at reading books by covers. I could tell that I didn't want to watch that new guy, so I watched the first season, then the second season, which is like the prequel. And I disengaged because I knew it wasn't going to be good from there. I could tell. I could see it.
Yeah,
the writing was on the wall. The man died.
It ended really bad. Like, and the fight scenes that I enjoyed the fight scenes in the beginning. It was a different way to do videography around a fight. By the end, they just took it. It was like, all right, there's trouble. And they all start moving in slow-mo with blood splatters on the screen. And it got super bad.
Yeah, it's but for anyone who wants to see like another titty period piece, my goodness, seasons 1 and 2 of Spartacus, you'll never see as much cock and titty in a regular TV show ever. I think Showtime made it. Real good show, but
it's got Cinemax vibes.
Yeah, it's got I'm spacing out her name, but fucking Xena is in their top.
Lucy Lawless, am I right?
Lucy Lawless, New Zealand actress. Yeah,
man, that sucks. He died at 39 from cancer.
I thought it was one of the lymphomas,
non-Hodgkin lymphoma.
Yeah, that's the bad one, I guess.
I mean, they're both probably bad.
You don't even mind the other kind. You're just like, do I have that too?
Do I have that too? Oh, rats! I've got lymphoma.
Not again.
It's going to ruin my weekend.
I have seasonal lymphoma.
Seasonal lymphoma.
It really flares up around the springtime.
Seasonal affective lymphoma. I get in a bad mood and die.
No, that guy was pretty cool. I don't recall his name. I do remember though that at the height of that show, I was Spartacus is a great show, and then he was in a Freddie W video, which is really cool. Like I always get pissed off when movies make it seem like the native. It used to be that Native Americans and Indians in movies were like fodder and for cowboys to shoot, and just 100%. These guys are awful. These guys are the bad guys. And then like recently, it's been like no. They were the good guys all along, living in this symbiotic relationship with nature. They were they were just worshiping the world and the earth, and Gaia was their spirit animal. And they all know they've been cannibalizing, raping, and enslaving each other for as long as their history went back. It was how they rolled. Like Comanche means, I'm pretty sure this might be one of those Joe Rogan facts. I'm pretty sure Comanche means enemy. Like, I think it means enemy. It doesn't mean like I think a lot of the Native American names mean like, you know, if it's in their language and not like Blackfeet or something. It means something about it, like, oh, the forest people or the ridge folk. But their name means enemy because they were awful. They had ritualized torture. They thought the longer they made you fucking like scream in agony, the better the magic would be. Like, they were awful people. When they brought white slaves back to the settlement to turn in and do a trade, the white people were so incensed at the treatment that the slaves had received. The girls had their noses burnt off. Their feet were the bottoms of their feet. They would burn them every night so they couldn't run away. They were just so disfigured and mangled that they were like, you know what? Let's kill them. Let's just kill them all, right? Like the white people just killed them all when they saw what they'd done to the prisoners. Of course, then the Indians killed all the rest of the prisoners up. Did all
According to the Oklahoma Historical Society, Comanche means enemy or stranger.
Yeah.
There you go. Look at you, Mr.
They're awful people. And the Apache are just a fucking out branch of them, and there's more of them. And all the Indians were like that. I think some of the bitch-made tribes, like the Cherokee, like the Eastern tribes, they seemed like they had things. Were
they bitch-made?
Yeah. They like capitulated right away. Like they were right away. They were putting on like suits and shit and accepting those big medals.
Dude, if you like were stoked on your morning because you just caught a rabbit and you did a pretty good job erecting your teepee, and then you see the largest things you've ever seen sailing towards you, a possibility that you didn't know existed as a mode of transport. Like, they're going to show up and you're going to be like, all right, let's not be fucking dumb here. What do you guys want? You're offering beads? I don't even know if they're bad traders or if they were just scared. Yes, we will take your beads. Guys, this might be the best chance we have. Like, that's probably more what it was. Like, you're going to, it's like, what are those things sticking out of the side of your large craft? It's like, those are cannons. You're thousands of turns away from that in Civ. What's that? Your favorite stick? Like,
it took hundreds of years to get them all.
Oh wow, that you mush that berry up and you can make cloth purple. That's so wild. Do you notice what I'm wearing? Notice all the other colors? Yeah, bitch, we figured that out. I got pantaloons on.
How long it takes them to train their soldiers too. It's like, oh yeah, it takes a process of 7 years for you to become a man and know how to shoot a bow and arrow off the side of a horse. It's like, we just gave Jerry a fucking gun and like told him how to use it for like 10 minutes. Now he's pretty fucking scary.
It's like, well, we've got a boat full of Irish alcoholics with guns. Good luck. They're undefeated so far.
Irish alcoholics just innately know how to use them.
Yeah,
we started with 30 of them. We're down to 25.
As soon as they landed, they started to work on corn vodka, and then immediately they conquered. That's all that they did. But yeah, it was a big. There's been a big uptick in the noble savage stuff. I've noticed that too.
It was like 1839 before we started fucking actually winning. Like it was like 50-50 forever. When the Texas Rangers got those revolvers, when they got, I don't know if there were 5 shooters or 6 shooters, but they had interchangeable cartridges so they could pop in another cylinder. And then they had their rifle too. That changed everything because you could carry 2 fucking guns and switch, but you wouldn't 2-gun it. You'd switch back and forth.
Did they have lever action? Rifles?
Not yet.
That was later.
Yeah.
Not yet.
They had these
Civil War, roughly.
They would have probably carried like a buffalo gun, like a 50 caliber, like 1 shooter that would, they could shoot.
Yeah, I was gonna
really pretty far.
Yeah, it was a little eye opening for me when I first learned about, like, I thought bow and arrow versus rifle. Rifle's clearly much better, right? Depends on the scenario, because if it's a single shot rifle versus how easy it is to reload an arrow,
depends where we're fighting. That's what matters the most. A lot of the great ranger stories involves like one ranger who was able to get up into an entrenched area up on a cliff face or something, and then they've got to kind of approach him in a weird way, and he's able to pick people off. But the way that they would fight on the open plain, they would have a couple dozen guys on horses riding in a circle. Like they create a tornado of warriors riding in a circle. And when the warrior gets to your side of this tornado, he shoots at you with his bow. And then he's shooting you from the backside of his horse. He's hanging off the fucking horse sideways. So he's covered up, except for he's head glitching on a horse that's moving. and you're a cowboy on foot that you've made your horse lay down, and you're like popping at this guy with a revolver or a rifle, and he's way over there, but he's circling, and the arrows keep coming because by the time they get around, the circle makes a revolution. He's reloaded even if he's slow, so the arrows are just. And it's a moving target constantly.
My skeet shooting experience kicks in. Like, sir, can I have you come straight away or towards me? It's so much easier.
I was gonna say, what's Comanche for? Check out this rad pixel peak.
It's fucking terrifying. And then the worst part was, you might not want to fight. You might be like a settler or a pilgrim or some shit, or a family man. You don't want to be there. They want to be there so bad. It's all they want. It's their favorite fucking thing. It's their sport. They want to beat you to death and cut the top of your head off. That's the worst part. You definitely want to die there.
Loved that.
Loved it so much, but we loved it too. Like the problem was I think Mexico, I know, would pay bounties for scalps, but how do you determine whose scalp that was?
That's
a child scalp, a woman's scalp.
You don't think it was a rigorous process?
I know it wasn't.
That's like the entire plot of Blood Meridian.
Yeah. Blood Meridian is the book that they failed to make into a movie time and time again because the subject matter and the character is so extremely gory, controversial, dark, glooming, and horrific. Like it's full of rape and murder and
I should watch
hatred.
it.
There's no movie. They
couldn't make it. Like I wish they would, but I mean, the subject. You're right. The subject matter is like it's rapey, it's gory, it's like
the final scene is rape.
Overtones are racist, and like it's you could never. You might pull it off in 1980 when the 1970s before the before the CGI was that good, but nowadays, Jesus Christ,
yeah,
child murder, pedophilia, like all the awful things.
Runs the gamut.
Rough. Yeah. The movie ends with a rape.
That's a terrible way to end a movie.
And murder.
Unless it was like a really bad guy.
No.
And even then, that wouldn't make me feel like justice was served. I'd be like, oh, my hero's a rapist.
No, but yeah, that's what. Oh, your hero is a rapist. The main character, the judge, is like he's the guy who he rapes.
He rapes, but he saves.
I think he's the literal stand-in for Satan.
The actual stand-in for Satan,
or just like evil incarnate, or like the evil of man, maybe like the worst parts of humanity. Like he's just as bad as it gets. Yeah, it's a very good book.
What would be? I mean, you made a good point about the engines, being sneaky.
Fuck them. They got what they had coming. I don't like that they get those casinos. I think I really don't. I don't like they get those. We should give those to like
the other Indians.
The other Indians. They run that. They take care of the things. All right. It'd be a little dirtier in there.
My name is Cheap Shitting Street, and I really didn't rob you of your money.
We really didn't do it on purpose, but last episode was obviously 7-Eleven, and we spent an hour shitting on how filthy India and Indians are.
No pun intended.
That works perfectly. Yeah,
I thought about it after the show.
Damn it!
Like,
how do we all miss that?
It's right. I don't know. I thought about it after the show. I was, we missed that joke. Yeah, we don't. But yeah, Native Americans, I've always thought just like, what are you doing? Whenever I see them treated as like the good guy in the movie or something, or when tribal life is sort of shown as just this peaceful coexisting with nature sort of thing, like Ferngullying it, like making them the Na'vi from Avatar, this just like perfect group of like in sync with nature and harmonious living, and then white man comes to colonize.
Yeah,
and he wants to burn coal and dig for his shiny ore and rape our women and enslave us. It's like, no, you are a slave trader. Like that's what your chief does for a living. He's like, horses and slaves. What do you want? Like that's what you do for a living, is trade horses and slaves.
Don't get me wrong. Like no side was like perfect in that, but people forget that like before the white man showed up, they were like, oh, when the white man came, like they were all like all the Indians got brutalized. It's like they were doing that to each other long before we showed up.
For sure.
Yeah. Like white people and Europeans were just way better at war. Like when you're 100 techs ahead, like you're not going to lose. It's as simple as that. Like
we lost so bad for so long. like Mexico in particular was giving all this free land away, which is now Texas. and inviting all these, come look, and they'd be like a poster. It's kind of like that Kevin Costner movie Horizon. Like, look how beautiful it is out here, free land. And then they'd have all these people living on their territory that were white people that they thought of as like a human buffer zone against the Native Americans. So if they got killed, they weren't defended by the Mexican army or the Mexican government. They had to count on what came to be the Texas Rangers and stuff like that. That's kind of why the war got fought, I think, eventually, is Texas became Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, oof. I mean, if I were American Indian, I would also want to do a little revisionist history, because it'd be like, fuck, we got beat that bad for that long, like totally conquered. Like, nah, I would appreciate movies that were like, oh, we were like awesome before they showed up. They just got the jump on us.
Now, what I will say, what is
like
super
totally
shitty,
ridiculous.
What is super shitty is like we would make deals with them and we'd sign that shit, and then we'd find out that like, oh, we need that river, or we need that mountain, or we need, oh, there's gold there. You gave the gold mountain to the Indians? Well, move them over there. And we just kind of go back on our word time and time again. That's pretty
shitty. That's a lie. We don't like liars.
The government going back on their word?
Yeah, that's not ideal. Usually the government's so good about that. They're like, no, we're not raising taxes. No, we're not doing these things you hate actively. So I guess it's always been the same.
I've been thinking about that movie you say they can't make. And I don't know, it just got in my head as you're like talking about all the reasons it's so bad. And the PKA response to it is this song parody. Rapey and gory and child abuse, evil and murder, savages gone loose, brown hairy scalps tied up with strings. These are a few of our favorite things.
Do you think they would like that?
Yeah.
Was that Chat GPT, or did you just do that?
Did you Chat GPT that?
That's our Christmas album
now. Just sitting there writing, being like, no, that's not racist enough.
Think,
damn it, hit it harder.
Jesus Christ.
Came out well.
Yeah. Who would you want if we have to conquer a new group right now? Can't say no.
Sentinel Island.
Are we talking about a territory or a group of people?
Like I guess a group of land territory. That's a better word. Yeah.
I would prefer to subjugate a group of people, but if you put me to it, I guess.
Oh, well, I was just thinking like a territory is like a more useful thing to think about. Like,
see, the problem with that is like you got to get rid of the people or it's not worth anything. Like the problem with Puerto Rico is all the Puerto Ricans.
Yeah,
right?
but if you're like I'm not saying like if we wanted to steal Canada,
Israel.
Like if we wanted to steal Canada, like you would take the territory of Canada. You wouldn't be like, all right, we're gonna round up all these French Canadians and throw them in a fucking camp or something.
I think you could Genghis Khan it and make it better than it was before you got there, right? Like he would come in, remove the little monarchies, put in a meritocracy, and that's how he retained control over a broad swath.
Prima nocta.
Yeah,
prima nocta right away.
It was better for them after Genghis Khan left, so I'm told.
So I'm gonna have Taylor go in, fuck all their wives. Anybody gets married, Taylor gets to deflower their brides.
Tight.
Yep. Got you back anytime.
Thanks, man.
He's gonna be up there banging all them French Canadian broads. And I think we want to go work diagonally here. I want to take that like north eastern part of Canada with all the coastline and shit. That seems valuable. Probably some good fishery to be had. Fisheries.
Definitely some fishes.
And I also want to go down there to the Baja or whatever it's called, Woody, that you like so much, that little peninsula.
That's my thought.
All the way down. Zach, would you pull up James Polk's intended final map for the United States of America? Frankly, I'm a Polk man.
I'm a big Polk guy. I've seen this map, and it shows us what could have been.
What could have been, indeed. What could have been. We take the whole Gulf of Mexico. I believe the Cuba.
Woody?
What's that? Oh, yeah, I know it. Yeah. I wonder how different America would be if we had that much Mexico.
Yeah. Like, would we make that part of Mexico better? Or would
hell
they make us worse?
Texas? We'd make it Texas. No,
that's not what I'm looking for.
No, that's not it.
Yeah.
Let me find the.
What was I going to say? Yeah, I mean, some of that Mexican land doesn't seem that great. It's like 8,000 feet altitude and low rain, and that's not it.
No. Sent it.
Well, that's a little bit of it. Zach's Taylor's got everything.
Yeah, I sent it.
That sort of describes. I thought in his
How does
map
that-
he takes that whole peninsula below San Diego.
There we
Yeah,
go.
that's my
what he
shit.
had in mind.
Now that's a fucking empire, boys. That's what I want to do. Honestly, like what I always think about, frankly, is pushing Mexico back. I don't like, immigration's a bit of an issue, I feel. So we should just push it back. We should just push the wall back to a more manageable area. They always talk about, oh, the wall would have to be this long. Well,
Not if we
further
push it
south we
down
go,
a little bit.
further
That
south
wall's
we
not
go,
so
the
long. The one
shorter
I'm
the
looking
wall
at.
gets. Yeah, it looks like a short wall right there, and you can put some howitzers on the other side and some mines. I think
we get fucking Cuba. Think about the vacation possibilities.
Look at that other chunk of what I assume is Mexico that over in the Gulf of Mexico that we're just taking as well. Fuck
It
you.
is. Yeah. I would almost prefer if we gave him a little bit of the Croatia treatment and we took.
Why is he leaving the British
all
Isles
of
out?
that.
Why aren't we taking all the Isles down?
There was like nothing there at the time.
Oh wait,
Bunch
did
of
he take?
nonsense.
What is that big country? Is that Haiti and Dominican Republic or?
So, no, that Dominican Republic and Haiti are right just off screen to the right. That's Cuba.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, my dumbass.
But look how
no,
far
you're
he's
good.
going up north in the northeast. He's taking some extra stuff up there, I believe. I thought.
Yeah,
he
look
was
how
anyway.
much north we have of Portland now.
Yeah, good for James Polk.
We've got
Great
all
president.
the pretty much entire control of the Great Lakes.
I didn't realize he changed the parallel, probably by
Yeah.
one.
That's great.
Is it-
What else was
it's probably
James
the
K. Polk all about?
50th? I don't know.
What did he get done?
He was a cheese man.
Was he a cheeseman?
Kept a wheel of cheese in the White House. It weighed 800 pounds, and anyone who came in could have a bit.
There's no fucking way. For how long? How long do you think like a cheese wheel? Actually, it depends on the kind of cheese. Fair.
You get 800 pounds of cheese, it goes a long way. In those days, you see the White House was open to visitors. You could just walk right in and take your business straight to the big man.
And my business was.
I'm
1
only
pound of
making up
cheese.
80% of this.
This can't be true.
There was a giant wheel of cheese in the White House, I think, that visitors could gorge themselves upon if they visited on a daily basis. And the White House was open, like to the public.
James Polk was known
that's
for pooping once a week
What the fuck? Why would he be known for that?
because of the cheese.
He just had the map and the poop. That's his only thing. If that's on his Wikipedia.
Yeah, he was known for pooping once a
This
week
is
because his
this
diet
is
was
who it
mostly
is.
cheese.
Andrew
was the-
Jackson in the main foyer of the White House had a 2-ton block of cheese. It was there for any and all who were hungry. It was there for the voiceless.
There you go.
What?
To be honest,
Cheese
that's
for the
like the
voiceless.
one thing that hasn't changed is that cheese is still a flex.
Oh, this is from the fucking West Wing. That's not even.
What are you talking about?
Oh, what I just read was a quote from the fictitious White House Chief of Staff Leo McGarry in season 2 of the West Wing. But it does say Andrew Jackson did in fact keep an enormous block of cheese in the White House. But that seems to be where the similarities with the West Wing end.
He kept the block of cheese for the people that walked in. That's a fact. Now, I think.
Here it is. According to Benjamin Perley Poore in his 1886 book, Perley's Reminiscences of 60 Years in the National Metropolis. Dude, book titles back then rocked. Thomas Jefferson received an awe-inspiring 1,600-pound cheese behemoth from a Western Massachusetts man, and Jackson's admirers thought that every honor which Jefferson ever had received should be paid to him. So some of them resided in the rural district of New York, got up a mammoth cheese for Old Hickory.
Dibs on the indie band name Cheese Behemoth.
Yes, that's a good one. Man, what a fun guy. Andrew Jackson. You go to his White House, he hands out cheese. He's taking care of that Indian problem.
He's on the $20 bill. On the $20 bill.
It's on the 20.
I remember
one of
when
the
I was
most useful bills.
when I was in middle school. This they brought in this savage American. I don't know what he was. He was all dressed up with beads in his hair and shit. And he had moccasins on, and he brought all this.
I can
he brought
probably
all
guess.
he brought all this bullshit artwork that his savage family had made, I guess. And then he gave us some like bullshit speech about how he won't even carry a $20 bill because Andrew Jackson's on it.
That's all I carry. And it's nothing to do with the president on it. It's just the right currency. Hundreds, I don't roll that deep. Tens and fives, I just put them in the glove compartment or something.
I have brought for you today this ancient art from my forefathers. It is a buffalo in macaroni. Everyone has to be like, wow.
He's got finger paints.
Unfortunately, the horns have begun to fall off.
My Indian name is He Who Paints with Craft. There was a girl that I went to school with way back in the day because I was back in North Carolina. We had a place called Lumberton. and there's like the Lumbee Indians there, which it was kind of like a big thing growing up because they were like nobody was really sure if that was a real Indian tribe because they were the right skin tone and complexion. They had like kind of built their own culture, but most of them historically, it seemed like they were just runaway slaves that had inbred with the locals, and so it was kind of like there was a historical context for it, but nobody was really sure. But what they seem to have done is pissed off a lot of the other local like Native American tribes because they would steal different parts of their culture that they liked and just kind of like created their own amalgamation. So I had one girl that I was going to school with that like for the school assembly dressed up in like 18 different Native American garbs from like different places and like acted like she was the last of the fucking Mohicans. Like, I don't, not to sound insensitive, but I feel like there's a lot more of you than you'd like to lead on.
It's like, I mean, number one, the propeller ball cap. I don't know if that's tradition, but yeah, I think every high school had a couple of those girls, right? Just clearly white as the driven snow and being like, I'm Native American. And it's like, no, you're not. Your last name is Nyquist.
We had Elizabeth Warren catching strays for no reason.
Dude, every time I think of Warren, I think of the funniest Trump tweet I think of the entire time. Zach, if you can pull it up rapidly, that would be funny. When she was trying to like do a little boost like video from home and she was like drinking a beer, like trying to seem folksy and casual. And she like turned to her husband and it was like, thank you for being here. And Trump tweeted, he's like, what a disaster. Terrible video for Pocahontas. She turned to her husband and said, thanks for being here. It's his house. Where's he supposed to be? And it's like, that's so, I wish he'd shitpost again. He's probably too old.
Where is he? I wish he would come back to Twitter.
Yeah.
I really miss those days, but I just got a brief little stint of air conditioning from downstairs, getting some more water. There's like a distinct 15-degree difference right now in my house, and it's killing me.
Oof, like, plus the Rona that makes it worse.
Say something.
Yeah, like that Russian dog. Have you seen that like Russian cosmonaut dog thing? It's one of the most fucked up videos ever. I bet it's on YouTube. The Russians wanted to see if they could keep a dog head alive, just the head, and so it's like just a dog head laying sideways on the table, and it's got a bunch of tubes and things, and it's like a dog like panting and like breathing in a terrified way because it's just a head now. And it was like, how does this get you to space? Maybe I'm making up that it had anything to do with space, but
let's see if we can keep just a dog head alive. Yet
they're planning for Futurama.
Yeah, no wonder we're losing this fucking space race. We're in here fucking with dog heads, seeing how long to keep them alive. They stole all the genius Germans. Oh, we don't want the genius Germans. Let the Americans have them.
Dude, I don't understand why America says it won the space race. What? I feel like we just lost, set up our own goal line, and then said we won.
That's exactly.
Well, come on, it's a pretty good goal line, right?
Yeah. Hold on, this is written by the victors.
Here's a little thought experiment for you. Do you really think that Russia and Russians think they lost the space race? They got to orbit before we did. They got a giant Yuri Gagarin statue there, better than any of our NASA statues, frankly. Like, you go ask a Russian, yeah, of course we won. We got there first. You guys lost. No, we got to the moon first. That was the original.
They went and because of the way we built the space shuttle, they were able to go to each of the subcontractors and purchase the parts for our space shuttle like it was a goddamn Lego set that cost $100 million and then just build it themselves. And so they built their own space shuttle right before the fall of the Soviet Union. And they also had plans to go to Mars. Now, that would have been moving the fucking flagpole. If they go to Mars, then they win the space race.
Yeah, but they still, like, I didn't know the list was this comprehensive. Thank you, Woody. Like, First satellite in space, Soviet Union. First animal in space, Soviet Union. First man in space, Soviet Union. First woman in space, Soviet Union. First spacewalk, Soviet Union. First space station, Soviet Union. First man on the moon, USA. Winner of the space race, USA.
And who won the entirety of the Cold War? I think that's very telling. Who writes my history textbooks? It's not Sputnik 5,
Let's go to Taylor's point on
American Johnson & Johnson, right?
Do the Russians think they lost the Cold War, or did it just never really end and it's still happening and they're currently like
I think the Russians
propagating elections or
They
something.
think they lost because of like the dissolution of the Soviet Union. It was like such an apparent like.
Maybe they see themselves as part of communism, which is winning.
No,
maybe is communism popular over there? No, not anymore.
I have a couple Russian friends, so I've
Okay.
who live not just in Moscow, but one of them lives in like wherever north of fucking Mongolia is or was from there. They're very much in the same like almost like the same mentality as the people who were very apathetic about the last election cycle. They're like, our country just kind of sucks, and that's just the way it is. And they don't think that's not communism or anything. They moved over to the U.S. for a reason. They're like, it's more opportunities over here. They're all musicians, so take it with a grain of salt. They're not exactly like poli-sci majors that are like, well, here's all the complex. They're just like, it's not really great over there. I don't know what to tell you. So I came over here and it's also not great, but it's just
nicer sunnier.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like if you talk to people that left, that like people and their families who left Russia, like that place sucks, dude. Oh, it's the worst because everybody who likes it, or I guess a lot of people who hate it, they can't afford to leave.
Yeah.
And everybody who thinks Russia's great lives in Russia.
Yeah, that's the difference between I think Russia and the U.S. The people that are impoverished and live there hate it, versus in the U.S. they love it. They're so excited to love America, is what I mean. Not being poor, they love America, right? Like that, like the nationalism is what I was getting at. I don't think I don't think people in abject poverty in the U.S. are like, fuck yeah, like this is incredible.
What are your favorite videos to research and watch? Is it the conspiracy angles or is it the creepy stuff? I'm sure there's a good bit of fusion there.
Oh yeah, there is. It depends on like what the video is specifically. Like for example, some of the stuff with like my main conspiracy theory mainline series, some of it can get a little bogged down because a lot of it is similar, and sometimes your evidence is a 4chan post from 2014 that had like 2 likes.
That's how I make a lot of beliefs.
Yeah, I hear a lot of religions are starting that way. But stuff like that is like very hit or miss if I like it or not. Now, like the video that I'm editing right now that should be up in the next couple days is about the MLK assassination, and that kind of stuff is like my stuff. Like reading like the logs and court reports, love that kind of thing. I also love reviewing like online horror series, like ARG stuff, just because I think it's really cool to put together this giant puzzle and see how everything fits. But yeah, like I always say in my videos that I only talk about stuff I like talking about, and that's been true so far. I'm very happy that I can make stuff I'm happy about and have this kind of success with it.
What's
beautiful?
So what's the deal with MLK? Was it the CIA? When something fucked up happens, I always assume CIA.
Oh, brother, it was 1,010% the CIA. Like, not even a question. So much so that the King family also believes it was, and they spent the last 3 years of James Earl Ray, the alleged shooter. They spent the last 3 years of his life trying to get him out of jail because the family thought he was innocent.
Wow.
In 1999, in Shelby County, Tennessee, the King family sued the United States government, specifically through an agent. And the specific one that did the suing was Martin Luther King's wife. They sued the government for conspiracy to commit wrongful death and won. So in a civil court, they officially decided the government did kill MLK.
I never even knew that, man.
Yeah. That is wild. and that's not even news. Wow,
yeah, I had no idea. That's not common knowledge as far as I know.
People are like, but if you told someone, like, did you know that MLK was killed by the CIA? Like, I feel like a lot of people
would be like, oh, he's one of those guys.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, they're like, put up the tinfoil hat or whatever. Yeah. Meanwhile, it was like the King family who did the research and got it and all that, which is like, I don't think I have to tell you guys that some information is chosen to be fed while others is not.
Of course.
And stuff that has to do with like a distrust of the state tends to be on the don't show as much.
Who was the guy who went to prison for shooting MLK? Was that like Mark David?
James Earl Ray.
James Earl Ray. They always have 3 fucking names.
Or David Chapman was John Lennon.
Thank you.
Yep.
So the civil court thing decided that. Well, and in civil court, did they ever bring up that there's a guy sitting in prison for this murder and blah blah blah?
Well, so he died in 1998, and the civil court was in 1999. So it was more so exonerating a dead man.
Was he
Yes,
retroactively
So
exonerated?
just in the nick of time.
By civil court, yes. In official court, no, because
gotcha.
double jeopardy and all that stuff. He was already accused of it. But like, man, I tell you, like, I went into the MLK video like, oh, the FBI killed MLK. And then I did the research. It was like, oh my gosh, they destroyed that
You're
man.
like, this
Wow.
is way too obvious. They didn't even try to cover it.
They didn't. Like, there was one witness who saw James Earl Ray there, and 74 who saw a different man there, and they went with the one guy.
They went with the one guy, Agent. You know, Steve Agent Brown.
So that one guy who saw him was actually in a drunk stupor at the time, and then during an interview with ABC, the journalist held up a picture of James Earl Ray, and the guy goes, "Who's that?"
Oh my god!
And the reporter goes, "That's James Earl Ray," and he goes, "Oh, yeah. I mean, well, that's not really the guy who I saw, but I mean, maybe from the back, it's
the only way to like bail yourself out of that is like, oh man, he's gained a lot of weight. Clearly,
the stress of being a murderer
is weighing on him. His hair fell out and everything.
I'm like that's my bias is like if I hear something that's like, you know, something fucked up the FBI or the CIA did, I'm like, you don't even have to explain it. I believe you.
Yeah.
I used to not be like that.
But if,
once
like,
upon a time,
yeah, if they came out and they were like, CIA stops hunger in Nigeria, like poor village, I'd be like, no.
What's that village got to hide, huh? Who's in that village?
Maybe Nigeria's not even real. I've never been.
You guys know the last things about the MLK assassination that didn't have to do with the conspiracy? So Jesse Jackson was with him the day of the assassination. As a matter of fact, King was hanging over a balcony talking to Jackson in the parking lot below whenever he was shot.
Yep.
Immediately, Jesse Jackson ran to the news, and he was wearing a sweater covered in blood and said that he was holding MLK as he was dying, and that's what the blood on the sweater is. Every single person who was there that day said what actually happened is MLK got shot and Jesse Jackson ran off, and the rest of them stayed there with him. And Jesse Jackson went somewhere, put fake blood on himself, and then went to the news so he could get the attention for it.
He like tried to pull his own like Juicy Smollett thing.
Well,
yeah, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. In research for it, MLK had a lot of problems with Jackson because every time they would go to a rally or protest, he would like aggravate it or like get it as a problem. There was one instance, I think it was some city up north, where King was giving a speech and he was talking about nonviolence, and the police show up, and Jackson's immediately like, "All right, guys, this time to fight, make a wall," and like made this whole violent protest.
Yeah, like rabble rousing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right, yeah.
And he was like, there's a bunch of accusations he was trying to take the spotlight. And it was specifically King's brother who was furious at him for going to the news in a fake bloody sweater.
I can
being like,
imagine.
"Oh man, he died in my arms." Yeah.
Dude, it really is like a tremendously narcissistic thing to do. Like MLK dies, and it's like, but how am I gonna get positive attention?
How do I
He wants to be remembered in
this
history.
scenario?
He wants to be
The
remembered in
other thing
history
to remember
books.
is what about me?
I would hit him up all the time. I'd be like, "Yo, that was super weird." The next year, I'd be like, "Yo, you remember last year when my brother died and you did that whole thing? Super weird. I never want you to forget how fucking weird that was. We all think you're weird. All the people I talk to, all my homies think you're weird."
Yo, that was
I
weird.
just got to know. Where did you get the blood?
And why
why
did MLK have acrylic-based blood?
You came up with a liter of fake blood in like 8 minutes in Alabama on a Thursday afternoon. I've got to know more.
You just like
I've got to
grab
know.
the bird, pop its head off like a bottle of
I have
ketchup.
children,
Just squirted
goddammit. I can't allow you around them until I know where you got the blood.
Where did you get the blood? You can't come around my
You have
kids.
to know.
Fine, I got it
Damn
from
it,
Sherwin
Jesse.
Williams. Get off my ass.
Oh. Well,
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, you can come around the kids again.
Fine. No, I don't know anything about that conspiracy, about the MLK thing, but I do know that they were surveilling him and recording him and stuff, and they had that like salacious audio of him having sex with his wife, and they were trying to use that against him. He's like, I don't care. Yeah,
he's like, I'm married, bro.
Yeah,
they wrote him a letter to try to get him to kill himself.
Yeah.
Where the FBI posed as like a member, like I think it was a black teen who was like a fan of him, and was like, "Man, you should probably kill yourself before this goes public." Like,
Wow.
okay.
The first troll comment existed.
Yeah,
on
Yeah,
paper.
the first one in all history. Probably not, but yeah.
The first YouTube.
You know it's wild.
Comment.
Whenever I was going through research for it, the like first detail I got to that made me be like, "There's no way," and then sure enough, it was real. The gun, it was a Remington 760 in 30-06. The gun that had Ray's fingerprints on it was never matched ballistically to the bullet that killed King. They tried it over and over.
Fuck, man.
And the best that they could determine is that it was the same model, probably because the rifling patterns within the barrel were similar. They're like, yeah, we can't exactly determine this is the same rifle that did it, but it's probably close enough.
Are you scared
Close
at night?
enough?
Are you scared at night
Oh,
that you're
you're
on a
muted.
list or something?
No, there he is. No.
You're not worried that you're on a list.
I'm on a list.
Oh, I know. I know for a fact I'm on a list.
Kyle's
But I
probably on
don't
a list.
like. I know Kyle's on several lists.
they made me sign
I
up
think-
for the list. They were like, "All right, this is for the list," and they like scanned my like face and took my DNA. Like yeah, I'm on a list.
I think
We're all on
Kyle and I
lists.
share not that
Well,
one, but I
everybody's
think we
on
share
here.
a few lists.
Dairy farmers are really very powerful, and like muscle milk here is muscle MLK. R.I.P. It doesn't have an eye in it. It literally doesn't have an eye in it.
Yeah, it wraps around.
It says muscle milk.
I have a dream that we're all gonna get so fucking jacked we can fight for equality.
Muscle milk.
Like,
I have a
look it up.
dream that I can hit my macros in a convenient way at gas stations and convenience
They can't-
stores.
Muscle MLK.
They can't call it milk here, so it literally says muscle milk, but there's no
wanna
eye in the
see-
milk.
I want to see a muscle MLK like Photoshop so goddamn bad. I want to see him ripped. I want to see him like on Ronnie Coleman's body. That's what I want. I want MLK on Ronnie Coleman's body.
Make it
Dude,
happen.
I'm sure that
Yeah,
I'm
muscle
sure it's out there. It
MLK.
has to
I
be.
like that.
Absolutely, it's out there.
That
You're gonna
bullet wouldn't have-
you're gonna get MLK on that black guy's body. You know which one I'm talking about, sitting on the side of the bed.
Oh.
exists. That exists out there 100%.
OG
Isn't that-
Mudbone. Yeah,
Isn't that guy dead?
Yes.
I don't know.
is he?
Not
I
with
remember like
Photoshop.
hearing
He's
something
not.
about him. I remember hearing
remember-
something about him how like he needed the money and he had to like pose for those photos to like help
I
someone
read
in his
that too,
life.
yeah.
Like somebody was like maybe health issues or whatever. Like someone needed money, and so he posed for those photos, and he regrets it.
Regretted it apparently.
Oh, well,
Now
that's
it gets
sad.
Photoshop.
Thanks, Kyle. Now it's complicated.
Yeah,
I
now
can't
we're
just
human
flash up the fucking
traffickers when you
picture.
Deal with that.
meme it with your
Now
friends.
Deal
it's
with that.
complicated, he
Thanks.
says.
Yeah,
I
no,
just like they're like she's dying. We need you. We need your gigantic cock right now.
We need you,
If there was
Mudbone.
ever a time that the world needs your humongous hanging dick, it's right now.
It's now.
just sit there and look regal because we're gonna put MLK's face on you.
Got to keep it respectable.
He lives on though.
I'm not saying I'm qualified to vote for president. I'm just saying that not everyone is. All right. If you make the test hard enough, I can't pass it. I won't argue with you. I won't say I am too smart enough to decide who's president. I won't argue with you.
There should be more questions about Rome on this test.
Just
There should be.
there should be a few about Rome. I think they're pretty pertinent. The fall of the greatest empire of all time. There we were with hot running water, and then we went to the Dark Ages and like rubbing boiled down horse urine in our wounds for 1,000 fucking years. So it's a good idea to look at Rome if you're going to be voting. I'd like someone who knew the consequences of a failed republic. I'd like someone who knew the consequences of the most powerful power in not just a region, but now a globe failing.
I was only half joking, but yeah, it makes sense, especially as America. I think we're the current reigning empire. I think you could say that. And to sort of know what happened to England, what happened to Rome, how these things get bigger and smaller, and help them make better decisions.
Rome just kept overextending itself towards the end of its existence, funding tons of foreign wars. You know,
based on what I learned from TV, it was a love triangle gone awry.
I'm pretty sure there was some immigration and some infrastructure issues too.
No,
I don't think they had a wall at all.
Huh, I think you're right. I bet they had
did
a ton
have
of walls.
they had the Hadrian's Wall.
They did. They had Hadrian's Wall up in
England.
England.
Well,
That'd be
because I've
cool.
never heard of it, I'm not sure it's true.
It's still there.
It is.
Like that's proof.
Adrian himself placed
Yep.
every stone.
He did. Stonewall Jackson was one of his first in his command there, if I remember correctly.
I finished Rome, the TV series. You were
Doesn't it?
right. Oh my god! When you
Bada bing,
said it
bada boom.
moved really quickly, I thought the first season moved really quickly. The first season ended in the way that I thought the whole thing would end. Like, what even is season 2? Well, sure enough, season 2 is pretty cool. And man, those last 3 episodes covered 2/3 of the
decade.
story. Yeah.
It was wild. Yeah, it's a shame that didn't get. If that came out now, I would bet it would be wildly popular. It's shocking to me. You can tell, like, when some sort of global algorithm gets triggered by a subject. Right now, it is Rome. Like whatever that was recently,
TikTok
where
did a
someone on
thing,
TikTok
and-
like brought up that topic that I asked my boyfriend how much he talks about Rome, and he answered this, and then it just exponentially grew until like Netflix and Hulu started recommending me Roman-based things. Netflix is like, hey, here's a series we made 2 years ago that's like 6 parts of Roman blah blah blah. Okay, why not? It's like there's no way that's a coincidence. It's happening. I guarantee in Hollywood that algorithm, a bell went ding 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 ding. What's that? It's the Make a Rome movie bell. All right, who wants to do it? It's being made or written right now. The next Roman-based movie, it'll happen in 3 or 4 years, and it'll be fucking cool. I love that as a historical topic. I love it as movies and TV shows.
Yeah.
I wish Gladiator had been a whole goddamn universe. You know,
Is there
that was
another
fun.
empire as cool as Rome? Like, was Greece anywhere near that cool? Or
Yeah, I mean,
Ottoman Empire?
the Romans
that
stole
real?
all the Greeks' ideas.
They optimized them.
That's where if you see
the
Caesar
next level.
Octavian. That's what Caesar Octavian's doing. Like when he's a boy, that his mother's like, "Stop reading all about those old dirty Greeks. They were all boy buggerers anyway. Now, have you had any gash yet?" No, mother. I have plenty of time to get gash.
A man of your age should have had a dozen slave girls' gashes by now.
That's
It's like, what is
I'm
what
not
is the joke?
exaggerating much.
What's the joke? Like the Greeks invented sex, and then the Romans discovered you could do it with women. Something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
And the
look,
Greeks actually get like more of that. Like they weren't
shame.
as gay.
They have the
as
reputation for
people
being-
say. Yeah, that like that was like an insult. They would like the Spartans, like would make fun of the Athenians being like a bunch of boy-loving buggerers or whatever the words were back then.
Yeah,
Still was
or at
going
least
on.
they did in
but
the movies that I've
not
watched.
to like what our idea of it is today, where it's like, oh yeah, the Greeks just like totally cool. with
I'm
that.
sure there's plenty of gay people and like getting down in all kinds of ways. The Romans were just perverse, and all the way up to their leadership. You know, you would see there's even that scene in Rome where the guy's like, "I've heard that you Romans would have a baboon fuck a woman," and he's like, "Yes, we sometimes will have baboons fuck a woman. I believe you just." It's no more difficult than training the baboon and restraining the woman. And the guy, it's usually reserved as a punishment, though. And the man is like, "I would like to see this. I would like to see a baboon fuck a woman." He's like, "Well, steps can be taken, certainly, but the matter at hand is..." It's just like, "Yeah, sure, dude. We'll get you your baboon fucking like after negotiations. Like, come on, let's move along." And
Even then, back in those days, I feel like those guys had to have been like, really, the baboon fucking guy. Like, are
No,
you
that's
sure?
what
Are you sure you don't want to go to the Colosseum?
No, that's what they did in
Baboon
the
fucking
Colosseum.
again.
That's what they did in the Colosseum. They would have baboon fucking in the Colosseum. All right,
I
first of all,
don't think so.
all right, I love when you say things like this, and I ask you if you want to bet because I know you're wrong, and you refuse to bet, and then Zach looks it up, and then you go, "Huh, baboon fucking in the Colosseum."
All right, Zach, look up baboon fucking in the Colosseum. There's no way.
Are baboons at all native to that area?
And
No,
of course. So let me just say this: one of the flexes that the Roman Empire would do to like keep its people, we're taxing them a lot for this big military we have. It's very expensive because it's an organized military that you feed and like, what do you do for a living? I'm a fucking soldier. I show up to the post and I serve there for 5 years at a time. You got to feed, and you pay them in gold, right? So to show the people and to pay them off for this, they would bring back from Africa and from all the way to England and Europe the bears, the lions, the monsters of those lands that they conquered, the elephants, and bring them home as during their triumphs and be like, look how powerful we are. We brought these baboons home to fuck women. Nothing about baboon rape. I'm
read it, Taylor. Read it out loud.
Let's bet $1,000. There's nothing though about baboon rape. There's also nothing to actually indicate that the reenactment Marshall alludes to was anything but a dude in a bull costume mounting someone in a pacific costume. No rape involved and probably no actual intercourse given the constraints of visibility within the Colosseum. Words from my mouth, basically, is what I. That's
so Google this. We're forced bestiality Colosseum.
You're really
because I'm positive it's true. And if that doesn't work, maybe lose the Colosseum and just do Romans, because that was kind of like what. I mean, if the first thing doesn't work, I'm almost positive they use this as a form of execution. Like they would have a horse rape a woman to death.
You've been taking a bunch of Derek's, dream supplements. Are you sure?
I'm sure.
This isn't something that you had a fever dream about that you were just excited.
His diet consists of mushrooms and pot.
Yeah, mushrooms.
They definitely did.
That wouldn't even be as entertaining. As just from an entertainment perspective, do you want to see a bunch of the Retiarius fighting the
you have
shield
a variety
guy?
of things, Taylor. Like you don't want all of look different
variety
channels.
is the spice of life.
It was just like television. Like one day you'd have women being executed by rape of donkey or whatever, and then the next day we'll recreate that old what's the myth about the guy who like the eagle comes down and eats his liver every day and it regenerates? Is that Greek or Roman? You would think it's Roman because I know they recreated it.
Yeah, I think
they
the Romans
the birds to come down and
they did rip a lot of their stuff from the Greeks. Not even inventing their
bird to eat a man's liver. That's
I don't think they did that.
I bet they did that too.
No, because yes. Yes,
Zach, also fact check that at one point birds were trained to eat men's liver as to recreate I can't remember if it's Greek or Roman, but the mythological god, nonsense, theological myth of that occurring.
Because there's no way you could. The bird's gonna eat whatever's in front of it. As soon as it's done with the liver, it's gonna be eating your kidneys or whatever else the dead guy has.
We're not talking about what it does later. We're talking about for the show of it all. Like, what does it come down to do? And I say they trained a bird to eat a man's liver on command.
If it was eating liver on command, does it definitely?
Thank you. Yeah, it was Prometheus' punishment for giving fire to man. They did that to him.
Which big ups to Prometheus.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for that fire, man. Prometheus was punished by Zeus. Yeah, but did the Romans recreate that? In real life in the Colosseum? And also, where are we on this animal rape as punishment? Because I'm sure of it. I'm sure of it.
I think you're wrong, and I think we should bet.
Animal rape is fake.
Ooh,
I've seen
that's
multiple
been
sources. I've seen multiple sources. They with the part.
What sources? What websites are you on?
Motherless, Pornhub, lots of sources.
Yeah, there was a gentleman on eFucked, and he wouldn't steer me the wrong direction.
No, I mean like watch. I feel like I've watched not just the Rome TV show, but I feel like I've watched historical.
There were no cameras back then, Kyle.
Yeah, of course there are no cameras, but
there's a reenactment you're watching.
I'm not talking about videos I've watched. They were all dressed in togas and shit, man. I'm telling you.
And then at the end, some lady came in, got naked, and some guy fucked her.
This is like
who's a plumber or something.
If I have truly been misled, which I am not admitting until I've done thorough research after the show,
admit it.
I'm sure that I've watched YouTube videos that were talking about ancient Rome was more perverse than you could imagine. Emperor Commodus would order women to be raped by donkeys for his.
Up next, was Hitler an alien?
No, not those kind of videos.
The Nazis' secret occult pact with the devil.
I don't watch those anymore.
They got you too many times where you're like, wait a minute.
No.
They just didn't have enough footage to make another Nazi war documentaries, and now they're doing stills and smash cuts of demon and Beelzebub heads.
I'm standing by this forced animal rape by the Romans as punishment and or execution. Or perhaps as a party favor. I will get to the bottom of it. Zach is clearly in on some sort of lie to make me look silly. And I'll get to the bottom of that too. I'll root out any conspirators, Taylor, and and do nothing about it.
Then do nothing about it. Well, either way, Zach, Operation Kyle Fool is complete.
One of the times that I remember, I've talked about it before, but my teacher just went on and on about the Spartans, and it was this inspiring moment in my childhood education where I thought of him as my favorite teacher, and it turns out everything he taught me was like sort of lies and not.
What did he teach you?
Well, it was the Spartan stuff about the way their lives went and stuff, and it turned out a lot of that wasn't exactly true, or at least I see sources now that suggest that it was not.
Yeah.
So I don't
like
know.
the like over the top like pederasty stuff.
Yeah, the over the top like militarized society and like the agoge, we're 7 years old, you're drug away, and you're in the army till you're 45 or whatever. Like all that crazy, and the craziness of the training. That he was very specific about that. Anyway, YouTube has led me to believe that much of that was exaggerated or just outright lies. Spartan propaganda, it turned out.
It could be. I mean, they
lived on to the 20th century.
They would definitely want their enemies to believe that they were like insane warrior people, even if it was kind of a bit of an exaggeration. They were warrior oriented. And even before that, they were in that group that fucking Genghis Khan went through. Like that's a tough place to be.
I don't know that Genghis Khan made it to Poland, bro.
Didn't he go through the East Caucasus?
I don't think he made it to Poland.
Oh, maybe not. All right, I guess
that wasn't part of Poland at
would
the
have
time.
gone a little further south, right? So he would have been not where Turkey is, but where like Uzbekistan is.
More like the top of Bulgaria, all of Croatia, all of Hungary. It doesn't look like the main Mongol invasion made it to.
So he got all the way to the Baltics.
Yeah,
Damn.
I think he made it all the way to the whatever that sea is off of Hungary.
So the Black Sea, the Caspian.
We've talked about that empire before. Like Genghis Khan's story is fucking cool because he grew up with like this horrible upbringing of awful things happening to him. He was enslaved for a while, and bandits stole his wife before his eyes while he was tied to a yoke. Like he had the worst imaginable childhood.
That's a good origin story.
And then once he took over most of Eurasia, including all of China at one point, I think, like he would be merciful and understanding and sort of in the way that like the guy you like in a medieval drama or stuff is like he thinks before he acts. If you look at some of the stuff he did, that's what he strikes you as. Like, don't get me wrong, he was horrific. He boiled people alive. Yeah, but he was fighting this group one time and he got shot. An enemy soldier shot him with an arrow, I think in the neck, but that doesn't make sense because you'd think he'd have died.
Yeah.
But he survives the arrow wound and the battle ends and he's got them all prisoner. And the guy who shot him is there and he's like, "Who shot me?" And the guy's like, "I shot you." He made the guy his general. He's like, "Thank you I appreciate your honesty and like, your
dude,
bravery."
that is like
He made him one of his generals.
That's like how Dumbledore acts at the end of every Harry Potter, where he's like, "Harry, for cheating entirely in the tournament, the Triwizard Tournament, I award a jillion points for Gryffindor." It's like they're all yay, and then there's that one team who's like, "We play by the rules, but because our emblem is a snake, everybody's mean to us."
He sent some messengers to these people one time, this kingdom of whoever the fuck, and I think they wanted to open trade relations with them or something like that. And the king there invites the messengers into his court, beats the shit out of them, shaves their beards, which I guess is like a huge dishonor or something.
Yeah, because then you see your big fat fucking face. That would be dishonorable.
Yeah, I mean, they're Mongolian.
Suddenly the chins are no longer hypothetical. They're there.
He got more chins than most Chinamen. So send him back all like disgraced and shamed. And Genghis Khan is like, "All right, go back and tell him, like, for real though, we're cool. We can make a deal and like, look, all I got to do is this, that, and the other, and we'll be cool." He sent those guys' heads back to Genghis Khan, killed the next group. So Genghis Khan killed every man, woman, and child in the city. I wish I could remember the number, but it might have been like 500,000 people he exterminated. They don't know what those people were called anymore.
Good.
He
So
would,
they weren't just,
with
it
a-
wasn't just
with-
the city of Han Chinese.
With aristocracy, they sometimes they would have captured a prince or the prince's cousin or something like that from some place, and they're going to put him to death. You lost, we're going to kill you now. But you wouldn't shed the blood of a nobleman. But they treat that rule the same way the Amish do about telephones. So they'd roll you up in a carpet, and then they would stampede horses over you,
A little
or they
wiggle
would,
room.
or they would boil you alive.
So you just
something like
ruin
that.
you ruin a whole carpet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had
That is the
carpets
real
to go around.
tragedy in that.
That's the real tragedy. That's an ancient car. What I always like about the Mongolians is the composite bows. And Kyle, you might know more. I think they were the first ones to figure that out, right? Where they would put like bone as the interior of the bow and then sinew on the outside so that it would bend with intensity. And so they could get like,
it's called a laminate,
almost as much. I don't think they got as much power, but like given the size of because they were little short bows and they were getting like punching power that was almost as intense as like British longbows from a few centuries earlier. Like maybe not as intense as the British longbow, but it was enough to like punch.
They punched
like,
over their own weight class.
Yeah, for sure. And that's really cool.
And their kind of warfare involved like being one with that horse and riding not just on its back, but under its neck and around its side. And like you see, even today, some of the traditional Mongolian horse riders and some of the tricks they do where they get off the horse and run alongside it while holding on to it and then flick themselves back onto the horse and they go under its belly and up the other side and then around its neck and onto the other side. And they're like, I don't know, Cirque du Soleil performers who want your blood. I know, I think it was the Apache who had a similar way of firing their bows from their horses as horse archers, where they would create this.
Wow. Only over 1,000 years later.
And more, maybe. Yeah. Maybe 2,000 years later. When was
That's
Genghis
like if
Khan
I
doing this?
came to you right now and it's like, Kyle, I've invented a type of bow with bone and sinew. It's like on the computer.
It shoots kind of hard.
It shoots pretty hard. You know, it's not up to snuff with like everyone, they're guns. Oh. Like, you wait till the power goes out. Them with the bowman will take charge.
Bow technology is still getting better. When I was a kid, my first bow was a PSE Nova, and it was 55 pounds draw, and I think it shot about 278 feet per second, which is slower than a paintball. You very clearly see your arrow as it's arcing toward your target. I think modern bows are closer to 400 feet per second now. Obviously, they draw a little bit harder, but the 400 feet per second is crazy fast for a fucking arrow. I'm surprised you never got into that. I know you had your recurve bow, but compound bows are closer to guns than bows.
They're neat, but part of the fun of the compound bow is that you're like holding it the whole time. It feels old. It feels kind of anachronistic, and that's enjoyable.
You mean the recurve?
The recurve, yeah, where you have to hold the full weight at your cheek until you're ready to shoot. Because I've used compound bows before, and it's like, I mean, it is way easier.
Yeah, the way the pulleys work, you have, we called it let off. I don't know if that's what the industry term is, but once you get it all the way back, those pulleys roll over and you're holding like 15-20% or something of the total draw weight, which is usually, I think an adult usually shoots like a 70 or 80 pound draw pull weight.
How much does a arrow weigh? I'm curious about this.
I don't know,
because AI told me. So you mentioned velocity of it, and it says that for a British longbow, it would be 190 feet per second for a heavy war arrow. So
how
like
fast again?
So like a bodkin arrow, a 100-gram arrow going 190 feet per second.
Okay.
Because that
it looks
seems like
hunting
a
arrows
very
are
heavy arrow.
Hunting arrows are like 300 to 500 grains, according to this.
Grains?
Yeah, it's the measurement you use for bullets.
Oh no! This just says grams. It says 100 grams for a heavy war arrow.
grains
that got
to
190 feet per second from high draw weight bows.
So
Lighter-
that's 19 to 32 grams of a modern carbon fiber arrow, according to this.
Okay,
I
so
never weighed my
19 to
arrows.
32 is that speed. So this British arrow weighs triple that and goes
Mhm.
190
Half the
feet per second, half
Yeah.
the speed.
Yeah.
And so that would probably hit tremendously hard.
So there's more factors than just mass times velocity to determine that punching power, because the stiffness of a carbon fiber arrow is going to be unparalleled from a piece of wood that you're launching at me with, and I think that it's also going to have a better ballistic coefficiency. So it's the
The ballistic coefficients. I was about to talk about that.
It's how well it cuts through the air, broken down into a like a decimal point number. But basically, I think the modern arrow is going to maintain its speed for longer. It's going to decelerate more slowly, and also the broadheads and the field points of modern arrows are just going to be better. They're just going to be a harder, sharper steel.
Oh, I'm sure a lot of these old ones weren't even fully steel. It was like pig
They're
iron.
shooting steel. No, it was a whole industry for making those arrows. I would guess you've seen The Last King of Scotland.
Yes, I have. Yeah,
That guy is one of the most fascinating African warlords that there ever was. Maybe the most fascinating.
Can I please read out his full title?
Please,
His
please, it's
full
so good.
I hope it rivals Daenerys.
Oh, let me see. Where's his title?
Starting forward for the Lakers, Daenerys Michaels.
Daenerys from Game of
I'll
Thrones.
never stop getting you with that one.
Oh, here it is.
What's her name? It's not Daenerys.
Right. Idi Amin, His Excellency, President for Life, Field Marshal Al Haji Dr. Idi Amin Dada, VC, DSO, MC, CBE, Lord of all the beasts of the earth and fishes of the seas, and conqueror of the British Empire in Africa in general and Uganda in particular. That's his full title.
That was
and also he was the uncrowned King of Scotland, which
Thank you. The last King of Scotland.
Which no, he's fucking not.
You don't recognize his authority? He has a
I think I heard MC in there. Can this person rap?
No, what is an MC? Oh, military cross from the British Armed Forces, which he never got. He never got that. He just made that up. He has none of these awards. But like,
If you've never seen his movie, seen his movie, very good. Forrest
I haven't
Whitaker
seen
plays
it.
him.
I like Forrest Whitaker,
James McAvoy is like his foil. He's like the maybe British reporter who's like there, like do a journalist type thing with him. Becomes his like pal, like you will come with me and I will torture people. It's like that sort of movie. It's it's really good. I wanted to know how he died recently, so I did some research, and I hope it was right. But he kind of died in exile in a Middle Eastern country, I think. But to the end, he was like, "Just let them know if they want me to come back, I'm down." And Scotland too. If they need me to come in and fill in as king, also down for that. Like he was just so delusional all the way to the end.
What made him think he was the king of Scotland?
He was a fucking madman. Like he was just fucking insane.
He had lived
why
in
did he?
Scotland.
Why did he pick Scotland?
He had lived in Scotland for some amount of time, and he really became enamored with the culture. And I don't remember how he made that leap to like thinking that he had some claim over the Scottish crown, but it might have had something to do with him considering himself a king in general. And it's like, hey, I'm a king. You need one?
Well, there's no current king of Scotland, so
yeah. Those redcoats have been giving you a hard time.
I'm just saying, I love it when Americans talk about this because they've no idea how sensitive a fucking subject that
I
is.
do. I heard you talking about the black and tans earlier.
oh yeah. Basically, there's certain places in Scotland where if you sing that song, you will get stabbed.
We pretend like that didn't happen to you.
Is there a king in Scotland or not? How are there two sides?
Oh God, I need to go into history going back to like the 1700s. But basically, there was a thing called the Jacobite Rebellion. We had a king, but the king was Catholic. The English didn't like that because they were all Protestants. So they brought over William the Orange, which is why remember how I mentioned about the Orange Walk earlier. Like basically that was the Protestants doing their little march where they talk about how much they hate Catholics and, and stuff like that. So basically, William of Orange came over, deposed the king. He fled up north. There was a little bit of a war. He then ended up fleeing to France. Blah blah blah. So basically, the lineage of kings like completely changed, right? And then King James, had to flee over to France, where he did marry into nobility. Blah blah blah. So basically, going down his family tree, the current true heir of the Scottish throne, the true actual lineage. What's that little tiny country, Liechtenstein? It's like a prince of Liechtenstein, and the problem is everyone in Scotland like sees his picture and goes, he looks weak. He looks like a little silly boy. Like, I would never follow him. So we're going to shove the king into a fucking locker.
What's that thing where you guys have that feat where you pick up those stones? You know what I'm talking about? The heavy stones.
Yes, the stone lift.
Is it it was the one the mountain did, the Husabel stones, but I think that's Iceland.
I thought there was a Scottish one.
It's caber tossing. We do the caber tossing.
Yeah,
that's the big hole where we basically throw a whole fucking tree, and it's really fucking hard. It's really hard because the point is to get it to fucking flip over.
And have you done it before?
I did it once. Anger did it about like 3 times. I managed to get like 2 out of the 3 throws and get it to go over. But fucking hell, you're lifting up a whole tree, like essentially, like, and then you need to fucking use physics to fucking flip it over. It's really hard, but it's fun. It's good. Like we still.
They're called the Denny stones. The Denny stones.
The Denny stones. The Denny means do not.
It must mean don't try to lift this.
Don't try, Denny pal. Denny try and lift these.
Denny try and lift these. Probably started as a joke. Scottish people are pretty funny.
Oh, the Denny Steens, 2 giant granite boulders located outside the old Potash Hotel. Is this some like old challenge or something I've not actually heard?
I think it might be like a Paul Bunyan type thing. Now, after I read it a little bit more, like I think that someone supposedly carried those stones. It sounds like one of those.
Donald's father, Robert Denny, according to Donald's own account, back from like 1860. That was when apparently the stones have only ever been carried by 7 men.
Oh,
yeah. And
you need one of those
Denny
men.
Was the first. Yeah.
What I was getting at is if like a man like that was over in Liechtenstein, I think there'd be a bigger call to like get him back home. Put him.
There definitely would. But it's just like
if you saw him like. You saw him like lifting those stones like easily and then tearing into some haggis drunkenly.
Well, now he's in. He's in.
Like there's a list to his like walk the whole way to the stones, and then he does it, and then you're just like, and he asks to come back. Like I feel like you guys can make that happen. Have like a populist
is the Liechtenstein guy is he an only child? Doesn't have like a brother, you could like a younger brother, bit of a beefcake, nothing like that.
No idea. It's just I know that he's like the lineage, but I looked at him. He looks like a fucking accountant.
Well, like, you got to skip that guy. But I do like that the Scottish people are like, we'll try again in a few years, in a few generations. Maybe he'll marry a big Icelandic broad.